welcome to Taggart Stadium for the introduction of the 2021 high school football season as the Shaler area Titans take on the Newcastle Hurricanes. Steve Jones alongside John Irwine with SATV. John, what week is it here for high school football?
Well, Steve, it's week 0, and I know that doesn't sound that exciting, but it is for a lot of football fans out there, especially high school football fans, because not only does it mean football is back, but it just means everything's kind of back to normal now. We got a week 0 game. Last year in 2020, it wasn't a week 0 game. You didn't have it because of the COVID year. So we're back here, week 0, non-conference, non-section at that point, obviously because non-conference. But we're back here, we're playing a football game, Shaler versus, Newcastle Red Hurricanes. And, Steve, let's just get right into it. I'm too excited. Tell us a little bit about the Shaler Titans last year, what they're looking to come into this year. Absolutely.
Shaler rolling off a 0-7 record. 2 of their games went unplayed last year. They gave up 229 points to 85. That's a 46.5 point give up every game. However, they're not looking bad coming into this year. They lost a lot of seniors in the end of the 2019-2020 season, and then with COVID, with limited practice time, they got a little rusty. However, as seeing them tonight, they look very solid, very disciplined. Tell me what the Newcastle Red Hurricanes look like tonight, John.
Well, Steve, the Newcastle Red Hurricanes are kind of in the same boat as the Titans, coming off of a 1-5 record last year. Didn't get to play a lot of games again because of COVID postpones and just delays at that point, needed to go away. But they're in the same boat, coming off of a 7-year consecutive streak going into the playoffs. I believe it's mostly in 4A, maybe 1 year in 5A in the earlier of the decade, but almost a decade of just straight playoffs, and now a 1-5 COVID season is what you would like to call it. Coming into it this year, trying to rebuild as the same Titans, trying to find their identity. And, it's tough for the Hurricanes. They have a lot of returning seniors and juniors, a lot of guys who are trying to make something happen and get back into the promised land known as the Whitfield playoffs. It's hard to describe how it is for both teams right now, but I guess, Steve, what do the Titans need to do tonight to try and get back on the winning record against the Hurricanes and get back on the right track?
Tonight the Titans really have to get their passing game really well. Also keep the ball on the ground and get it bounced to the outside. They look really great in warm-up tonight. Also, the starting quarterback for the Newcastle Hurricanes was injured in the scrimmage against Hampton. He's out with a lower body injury, so he has a substitution coming in, so I'm not expecting much of a passing game out of them tonight. So the Shaler defense really needs to be disciplined on isolating the run. What do you think the Newcastle Hurricanes have to offer for tonight's game?
Well, Steve, as you said earlier, Mike Wood actually is the name of the quarterback, and he's out from the Hampton scrimmage, and it's a real tough blow for the Newcastle Hurricanes because they definitely want to have a dual threat here tonight, and obviously they might have to stick to the run game. I think they have about 4 current and active running backs on the roster right now looking to play in tonight's game, and from what I know, Steve, most seniors, which I believe is about 10 seniors, are playing both sides of the ball. So we can expect the quarterback and the running backs and the wide receivers playing both sides on the Hurricanes. So that could cause a little bit of an issue on the stamina side coming to week 0. Don't know how everybody's conditioned, but I guess for the Newcastle Hurricanes, they really need to up their defense. We saw them earlier in the pregame when they were warming up out on the field. A lot of their guys were really, really disciplined on that drop back, and a lot of linebackers look really steady in that shift. I think defense is going to be the name of the game for the Hurricanes, and especially the run game as well. You just got to break down Shaler. I think Shaler in the last couple of years really struggles against the run game. It's really troublesome sometimes because not only do they lose discipline a lot and get frustrated sometimes, but it's just hard to keep up with faster guys. It's going to be a rough game, I believe, on both sides coming in, week 0, it's the game where you want to find yourself on the totem pole, see where you are in your section and in your conference. So, you don't want to blow them out of the water, but hey, a win's a win at this point in the season. You take it. It doesn't really matter towards playoffs, but hey, it's motivation, it's momentum, and it's just getting you on the right track that you need to be in. So, for the Hurricanes, it's just find who you are as a team. Find out how you're going to play against teams. They're not going to play against Shaler this year.
Right.
So they need to figure out how they're going to play against teams like Shaler within their conference.
Absolutely,
But
John.
that's exactly all I got to say from the Newcastle Hurricanes. Their game's going to have to speak for themselves. Steve, you got anything else?
No, John, thank you for all your input. Anyways, folks, that's all we have for you down here on the field. Catch us up at the booth for live play-by-play coverage. We'll see you up in the booth. And welcome back to Up to the Booth for live coverage of tonight's football game of the Shaler area Titans against the Newcastle Red Hurricanes. Steve Jones and John Irwine again here with you for tonight's coverage.
And Steve, as the captains obviously take both sides. You know, Newcastle's already out there first, but Shaler just got on the field. We're going to see their captains come out. I believe we're looking at Josh Miller, Dom Rossi, Logan Burnester, and number 55, who I presume is...
It's going to...
Logan Douglas.
Yeah, Logan Douglas.
And, for Newcastle, Red Hurricanes, excuse me. We're looking at number 4.
I think that's going
to... Chris Hood's going to be the quarterback. You see number 25.
Austin Kelly.
And I can't really see the numbers on the other side there.
Looks like another offensive or defensive lineman. Let's see the action here at the toss at midfield. Shaler has won the toss, and they have elected to receive.
And that's something we haven't really seen a lot before from Shaler. Usually I think we decided to defer a lot, but I could be wrong in that sense.
Yeah, no, they want the ball first. They want to strike first. And that's always a great way to start. You know, if you take every available opportunity to receive the ball, and that's exactly what they did. And it looks like we're going to be underway for some football just real soon here, folks.
Yeah, and Steve, again, let's talk again real quick about how we talked in pregame on different situations. Well, excuse me, same situations, but from different backgrounds. You know, Newcastle coming in from 7 impressive playoff seasons in 4A, now coming into this season after 1-5 2020 season, trying to get back on track. And Shaler's we're talking about the same thing for Shaler.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They came off 7 straight seasons of going to the playoffs, and Shaler came back almost 7 years of rebuilding.
Yep.
They had, I believe, 2 playoff berths within that time. You know, if you compare them side by side, if you rewind the clock all the way back to 2014, I think we went winless as in Shaler. 2015, I think we went winless in Shaler. We might have had 2 wins that year.
Might have been the year that we actually came back and won a couple games.
Okay, and then that's when the rebirth started.
Yes.
We've been able to scrap a few games here and there, respawning our playoff berth in the 2019-2020 season. So, you know, similar sort of teams here looking as of this year. And it's going to be...
number 31 here for the Newcastle Red Hurricanes. I'm going to try and find his number. It's going to be Angel Porras. He's a sophomore.
And he's doing our kickoff for tonight. And it looks like, I can't see the numbers back there on who's receiving for the Titans. It looks like it's going to be Joti Sabato. And
near side, not too sure. Can't see that number there, Steve.
Right. It's tough to make out a number who's deep for the Titans to receive the kick. And we are underway with Friday Night Football 2021. Shallow kick. It's going to be in the 3rd row. It's going to be returned, but brought down just shortly after, maybe getting a yard or break it even. Looks like the Titans will get the ball right around the 25-yard line, depends on the spot. So it looks like they're going to mark them up at the 26-yard line.
Sorry to cut you off, Steve.
Oh, by all means.
What are we looking here for Shaler coming on this first drive? Give me one key thing that they might have to look to do on this first drive here.
Definitely, you know, working on conversions. You know, we got to get the first downs. We got to move the ball across midfield. We got to get a chance to score right off the bat. If you have the ball first, we want to score first. It's like going to be a quarterback option right up the middle. Not going to get much. I think he scampers back to the line of scrimmage or takes a TFL for a loss of 1 yard. Looks like Shaler's going to come back with a 2nd down and 11 after the quarterback keep by Rossi. You know, Shaler's play call offensively is something we have to watch too, because we have a new offensive coordinator, you know, running the show for Shaler this year. So it's going to be interesting to see what they have. Pistol set. And it's going to be off to Josh Miller. He takes it out for a good run on the outside as he runs it right from pistols. That's going to be a gain for, looks like for a 1st down, he carries a 10. So the sticks move right away. So like I said, we need to get the ball rolling, get the 1st down conversions, and keep moving, you know. Tonight, I think the biggest thing is clock management from both teams. You know, managing your clock, managing your run, when to go out of bounds, when to throw the ball, you know, all that. So that's what's interesting. Pistol set. And give it back to Miller. Up the gut from pistols again. And that looks like he's going to get a short gain of about, looks like it's a 2 to 3 yard gain. 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Steve, and off of that, again, 2 run plays in a row, and I think that's one big thing to look out for the Shaler squad. Again, Shaler, in the last 3 years, Jake Miller, obviously, one of the best running backs we've seen for the Shaler team, but obviously he's gone. Josh Miller is now taking the reins, and it's going to be different to see because Dom Rossi, we talked about earlier in pregame, has that arm. Can he make it a dual threat offense?
There he is. He rolls out in the option, pass in the flat, and was that completed, or was that get knocked out when he tackled it? I mean, that was a really hard.
I think he actually he tried grabbing it, kind of fumbled it in his hands, just got hit out of his way.
Okay, so the incompletion. No, that was marked as a completion. He has a loss of 1 yard, so it's going to be, I think, a 3rd and 9. Coming up from the Titans, this is what we talked about. We need third down conversions here. We are at Shaler's marked at the 36-yard line, 35, 36-yard line in the pistol set. Rossi drops back to pass, got a man downfield. Across the middle, it's caught. We got a man running at the 45-yard line, and that's going to be Kate. And that's complete to Caden Orga across midfield as the Titans move a ball across midfield.
Yeah, and I think that's one great thing that Shaler has done right now is just shown, obviously, Rossi had a lot of time. The offensive line gave him a lot of time in the pocket, able to find Orga coming across the field and just dumped it right to him. And, you know, that's a first down, move the chains.
Great third down conversion. It's going to be a QB draw, handed off to number 33. That's going to be Luke Signetti with the carry, moving the chains again. So, wow, we see, you know, 3 third down conversions. A great completed pass over the middle for a gain of about 15 yards. So, you know, we do see that dual threat offense. Shaler's able to throw the ball. They're able to run the ball. It's very interesting. This is a new year, seeing them in the pistol set. And, you know, let's see what happens in this drive, John. Rossi, pistol set. Fumbled, scooped up by...
It's going to be by Newcastle, I believe, Steve. Just rolled right to him. I want to say that's number 25 on the Newcastle Red Hurricanes, Austin Kelly.
Very, you know, tough turn of events there for Shaler. I'm not sure they had...
I think Rossi tried to, you know, pitch it off to Signetti, but Signetti had an O-lineman get in his way off of the initial drop back and, you know, not able to get there for the pitch, and it just kind of rolled right to Kelly, just picks it up, dives on it, and it's a Newcastle Red Hurricanes ball. And, Steve, this is first time now that we're going to see number 4, Chris Hood, the actual backup quarterback, go in, as earlier we talked about Mike Hood had injured his hand in the Hampton scrimmage. So we're going to see how the Shaler defense is going to stack up against this brand new Red Hurricane offense.
New Red Hurricanes in the pistol set. They give a handoff to the outside, and he gets the outside, and he's brought down, but not after gaining 9 yards on the sweep. I believe they're going to mark that for a 9-yard gain, and that's going to be... I'm not sure what who had the carry there, but it was a 9-yard gain for the Red Hurricanes. Yeah, it was an unfortunate turn of events for the Shaler offense, you know, picking up 3 consecutive first downs there and then turning the ball over for a simple mistake. Red Hurricanes, pistol set, 3 wide receivers out, play action. It's a shuffle pass to number 23 from the Red Hurricanes, and they pick up the first down.
And Steve, as we talked about earlier, the Shaler defense definitely is one. You know, they're going to have to find their identity pretty quickly in this football game, as it seems, because right now this looks like it's going to be a little bit troublesome for the Titans to figure out how they're going to handle a run main specifically offense.
Right. And as the Red Hurricanes cross midfield into Shaler territory, back in pistol set, 3 wide receivers out. It's going to be a sweep to the outside. Titans are in on it. It looks like the Red Hurricanes will get to the line of scrimmage, if not a short gain of about 2 yards. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Yeah, sorry, Steve, to cut you off, but as we've seen, I think we've seen about 3 carries from 3 different people. We just saw Braylon Sibley, number 20. We saw number 23, Malik Jefferson, about 2 plays earlier. And then obviously Chris Hood took it himself. And correction earlier, it was Mike Wells that actually had been injured in the Hampton scrimmage.
Okay. We hope for a speedy recovery for him. I don't know if it's his senior year or not, but definitely hope for a speedy recovery. Twin set, quarterback keep up the middle from Chris Hood. He's taken down right at the line of scrimmage for another short gain. It looks like it's going to be coming up for a 3rd down and 5 and or 3rd down and 6. Very tough to see from here as to where the sticks are actually marked at. This is the first 3rd down that the Red Hurricanes are going to have to face over tonight. Ball marked at the Titans' 43-yard line.
And Steve, this is big because as we've known for the last 3 years for the Shaler defense, it was third down, stop them. And that's how it rolled for the last 3 years. So we're going to see how this defense holds for Shaler right now.
Titans bring a blitz. They look out to the flats. It's complete. And brought down by a gang of Titans, but that complete pass in the flat, and that will move the chains and put the Newcastle Red Hurricanes all the way down to Shaler's, what looks like 30-yard line. 30 to 31-yard line, depending on where that spot of that ball is.
Yeah, Steve, and the first throw that we've seen from Chris Hood today, I mean, right on the money, found his man out towards the sideline, just about 5 yards from it, and just an easy first down for them.
Right. Twin back set, tight end, strong side left for the Red Hurricanes. Man in motion to the weak side. Back to Twins. And they run it up the middle and brought down by a gang of Titans, met up right at the line of scrimmage. And no gain as he gets right back to the line of scrimmage.
And Steve, one person I saw coming off the edge there was Austin Timko, immediately getting behind Chris Hood and causing him to, kind of taking himself he handed it off to Malik Jefferson. He moved it himself and didn't get only about a couple, maybe 2 yards off of that. So again, one thing we're gonna have to see is how does Shaler respond to Newcastle's movement, especially on the run side of things? Do they keep continuing to blitz, or do they kind of stay back and go into a man-to-man coverage or zone?
Right. And we see quad wide receiver set. Trips left, man in motion. Snap, Chris Hood decides to take it himself. He is wrapped up, brought down, but he does get a nice gain there. And that was a great read by Chris Hood there. He was in a little tight spot there. He looked out for his trip set to see a man open. He realized the blitz was there. He's seen a gap opened up in the offensive line, and he took advantage of it. And it's going to be 4th down and inches to 4th down and 1 for the Red Hurricanes. Ball lies on Shaler's 21-yard line.
Yeah, Steve, and as you said earlier, Chris Hood easily just kind of took that himself, waited for his wide receivers on the left to kind of push back that Shaler, safety and corner side, and he just took it himself to the right side of the field and just went in and took it himself for that easy first down. And that's something Shaler has to look at here is how does, Newcastle take this run offense and move it into a dual threat here. But
right.
I believe there's a timeout on.
Yep, timeout taken by the Newcastle Hurricanes. This is one of 3 timeouts for the half.
And Steve, what's one? Actually, I'll go first here. We'll change it a little bit. I think one thing I saw from Newcastle was, especially on defense, they definitely struggled a little bit trying to find how Shaler was going to run their offense, especially as they were in pistol most of the time. Not a lot under center. I mean, you probably won't see it, especially with Dom Rossi. He's not a terribly big quarterback that can take hits, but I wouldn't call him weak. But, I mean, with guys like Josh Miller and Luke Signetti in the backfield, definitely going to stay probably in pistol and shotgun here. But I think Newcastle definitely helped change and adapt over time on that drive, and then coming to this offense. I mean, they've had a lot of momentum going into this one.
Right, and you make a good point because we rarely have seen Shaler really line up into a pistol, and that's what this new offensive coordinator is bringing to the table here this year at Shaler area, switching things up. We used to see a single back set or an under center in the I formation, so it's nice to see that Shaler's switching up what they're doing offensively. Defensively, on the other hand, Shaler looks like they've been bringing the blitz all night and really had a very powerful D-line. So, both teams are trying to acquaint to each other when they really don't have a lot of film on each other, so it's really a heads-up football game. Power set from Newcastle. Twin DN set. It's going to be a quarterback keep up the middle.
Big hit by
hits by multiple people, but it looks like they're going to move with the chains, and the sticks move, and they convert on the 4th down. And you've seen a power set there. You had double tight end. You had a tight end and a wing over on the left side of the field there from Newcastle, and they ran it right up the gut on a quarterback keep, and that puts the ball all the way back to Shaler's. Is at the 14 or 15-yard line the ball will be sat
at?
At
14, Steve.
Okay, and it'll be 1st and 10. It's the last 1st and 10 until they move into the red zone. I'm sorry, into the... and it's going to be a toss to the outside. Shaler's got a group of guys there, but he's not brought down just yet, and then he's brought down, but his forward progress will bring him all the way to Shaler's 6 or 7 yard line. So the Newcastle Hurricanes really using up a lot of big chunk of this clock. They've had the ball for over 7 minutes now. They've moved to over a good 50 yards in the last They've converted, I believe,
about 4 times now, Steve.
They've converted 4 times, and they're about to, they have a very good shot at getting something here in the end zone with 2nd down and 4 at Shaler's 7-yard line. Under center, single back. They run a toss to the outside. He cuts it back up the middle, and it looks like it's going to be touchdown Newcastle. And the Red Hurricanes score first. That's going to be Kevin Gardner from Newcastle. Red Hurricanes striking first on the toss to the outside, and he's seen it open back up. He cut it back across the field, and he was able to punch it in for 6.
Yes, Steve, that was a very impressive drive by Newcastle. I mean, not a lot. I mean, one thing to say was momentum, but I think another thing was no mistakes. I think that was one thing that definitely, helped them throughout that drive against that Shaler defense was you didn't see any mistakes. It was near a perfect drive.
You know who was really, really great to mention there with that Newcastle drive is the Newcastle offensive line. Moving the defensive line and the linebackers out of the way to open up the holes for the running back, and really they did a great job at blocking down the defensive ends to let the pitch really get to the outside. Now, 3:35 remaining in the first quarter. Red Hurricanes up 7, Shaler 0, as Shaler is due to return the kickoff. John, as we were saying, that was a very flawless drive by the Red Hurricanes offense. The Shaler defense is a lot to change, but that's a lot to learn off the first drive. You have to go in, you have to feel everybody out. And I think that was a great learning drive right there. Just have to see to the next one. Shaler offense. What does Shaler offense need to do differently in this predicament?
I think one thing is no mistakes. I think obviously the mistake on the fumble there really killed them on that drive, killed the momentum. But I think another thing they had to do is be confident when they're out there. I think a little bit of the time they looked a bit lackluster and, not really, even if you don't get the ball, I think one thing is, in football, I think people don't understand. If you maybe even know that you're not going to get the ball, the whole point of your route still is to pull that defender your way so you can clear the open hole and get a man through there and gain some yards. But I think right now what I saw from Shaler was if you're not getting the ball, you're kind of going through it, I think, and going through the motions, which is what can happen with Shaler. You can't be on your heels. You got to be ready every single second that you're out there, and you're trying to still win the game here. As much as it is week 0, you still want to put out for your your town, and you're representing Shaler area. So I think one thing we're going to have to see from Shaler is definitely be confident when you're out there, play the game you know how to play, and put some points on the board.
Absolutely, John, and we are about to see Newcastle kick off for the 2nd time today. And we are underway. Nice deep ball kick. It's returnable. It's bobbled a little bit by the Shaler returner, but he's up the middle with a good return. He brings it all the way out to what looks like the 36 or 37-yard line. So the Titans really they're out 12 yards farther than where they were as their last possession. So that's great. They got favorable midfield position. And let's see if they can make something out of it on this drive as the Shaler offense takes the field with 3:29 remaining in the first.
Now, Steve, not a lot of names that we've seen tonight from last year. Guys like Dylan Schlegel, Logan Bernesser, guys like Caden Orga. We just saw him, but, as I just say that, new quarterback steps in, I believe, behind in the snaps. Keegan Schmatenka.
Okay, Shaler runs it up the middle. As Keegan Smetanka comes in as quarterback. I'm not sure why Dominic Rossi is out on this set of plays.
He's actually out on the far side playing receiver right now there, Steve.
Oh, wow. Thrown out to the flat. It's rolled out. Josh Miller makes the grab, but he's swamped up in the flat by 4 Red Hurricane players, and it's 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Titans. So,
yeah, Steve, and actually, seeing King Schmatenka in is actually not a surprising thing for any football fans watching this right now, because earlier in the week, Jim Ryan, head coach of the Shaler Titans, said right now they don't have a decision of who they're going to go with for the quarterback position, just whatever works at that point.
Trips left, Smetanka rolls out to the flats. It's dumped to the flats, and it is not complete. Pass intended to number 9, Caden Orga, and that goes incomplete, brings up a 4th down. It looks like it's going to be a 3-and-out for the Titans as the punt squad's going to have to come out and give this ball back to Newcastle.
And Steve, like I just said earlier, what was the one thing on that drive that really killed for the Titans?
They were not able to, they just were not able to really complete the passing and really get the ball moved. You have to move the sticks. And it's punted up, and it's a very high punt, not very shallow.
They
and
can
that's
get a roll here.
That they will. It's going to roll out to I think it's going to be down right at the 20-yard line. Shaler, if they want to have any chance, they have to get first downs. They have to score. But first, you have to take it one step at a time, and it comes back down to execution.
And you got to clean it up for sure. Again, what just happened on that drive? Two mistakes. One from a drop pass from Caden Order on that third down, and I believe on the first play there, the hole just collapsed on that offensive line on the right side for Josh Miller. So I think one thing that we're seeing from the Titans is just the mistakes are killing them, but when they're spot on, it's a clean game for them. They're in this.
Yeah, absolutely. They just have to clean it up a little bit, as you mentioned, get a little bit better execution. And it'll be first down and 10 for the Red Hurricanes from their own 20-yard line. 2 minutes, 19 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
And Steve, I believe this is just a water break. I think the Whippeal actually just implemented this, I believe, last year. I think there's a mandatory water break that has to be taken at some point within each quarter. I'm not sure when that is, but I think it's because of, just new rules and, trying to keep the health and safety of the players, especially during COVID still.
Absolutely. Man, I did not know about that new rule. It's quite interesting to learn about there, John.
Yeah, and, I think that'll actually help tie in a little bit for both teams here. Obviously, when you get like a 30-second water break, you're able to calm down, get some waters, get hydrated again, get your head back in the game.
It's almost a free timeout.
Yeah.
You look at it from a tactical standpoint of a coach. It's a free timeout they're giving you. You have to calm your team down, get them relaxed, and get them ready to go. Newcastle. 3 receiver set. Blitz off Shaler right away, and he is brought down. Fumble, ball's out.
They're going to call him down,
Calls
Steve.
him down.
Again.
Wow, and that is number 4. That is Austin Timko off the edge, right up the middle from Shaler, and he backs the Red Hurricanes up over. That's almost an 8-yard tackle for loss there.
And Steve, let's talk a little bit about Austin Timko. He's in his senior year right now, and not really a big name known in the Shaler Titans football scene. Came in last year, junior, got limited playing time, especially not being that big of a starter. But this year, really trying to make a name for himself on the defensive aspect as a linebacker / edge rusher. And again, as we talked about earlier, got in on the backside behind Chris Hood and got in behind him. And last time didn't bring him down. This time dove and made sure he was taking Chris Hood down.
Quad receiver set, timeout taken, flags are thrown, and I'm not sure who the penalty's on. And it looks like they're going to give this to...
This is on Newcastle here, Steve. Or?
I believe
they took a timeout.
No, we have a flag down. I believe that's illegal motion or illegal formation by the offense, as the head referee called it. There was no timeout signal given. 1:26 remaining here in the first.
Let's see. Because why would they be on the sideline?
We have a timeout. We have a timeout. Yeah. So the quarterback, Chris Hood.
Confusion.
Chris Hood seen his setup right away, called the timeout. Simultaneously, there was a flag thrown. However, I don't know if the flag stands or not.
Yes.
They did not wave off the flag, but they didn't move the ball's positioning, so I believe it was considered a timeout was called before the flag could be thrown.
Yes, and I guess that penalty doesn't get enforced. But again, here now with the 2nd and 18, we're going to see how Newcastle deals with this because, again, they've been primarily run, so we're going to see what they can do here on the 18-yard offensive gain here.
Chris Hood, quad receiver set. He drops back, blitz comes, thrown over the middle, almost intercepted by Shaler. And it brings up, and wow, Austin Timko in there again. That was a great read by Shaler. They seen the quad set. They knew, they read pass right off the bat. They sent the middle linebacker, Austin Timko, and he's in there for the play. Amazing read by Shaler. They understood that they were going for the long ball again, trying to move the ball. So awesome pickup there by the middle linebacker, Austin Timko from Shaler.
Yeah, and Steve, again, I think what we just saw from Austin Timko was not only just relentlessness and IQ, but we saw everything he had to bring there. He had speed, he had power, and he took Chris Hood down, and again, he's taking whoever's down with the ball in front of him.
Okay, here you see that quad set again. Austin Timko up the middle. He's in there again. It's thrown to the flat, and it's caught, but brought down with a short gain, if any. And I'm not sure who exactly was in there for that tackle primarily. It was more or less a gang of Titans, but primarily I'm being told that it was Tristan Holland primarily on that tackle there in the backfield.
And again, Tristan Holland, one of those kids last year who, again, didn't get that big of a part in the Titans' play style and, playmaking scheme, but this year, again, coming into his, I believe his senior year, he's trying to make a bigger name for himself and really help out the team.
45 seconds remaining in the first quarter. The first 3 and out by the Shaler defense. Oh, that's a live ball.
That's going to
be a safety.
That has to be a safety.
Wait.
You're going to call it a safety.
It's a safety.
That's a safety on Newcastle. And Steve, I can't tell you what I just saw. It looked like the punter from Newcastle was trying to figure out what was going on with his line. I think someone was lined up wrong in the offensive line, and he looks towards the sideline, and he says, hey, what's going on here? What's going on?
We might have something interesting. Wait.
Did the flag go off?
Yes, I think they're calling a legal formation. Do not say anything yet. It might be half the distance to the goal.
Now that
Wait a minute. This might be
this is precarious, Steve.
Illegal motion. Hang on. They're picking the flag up. Let's see if we can get a call here. Exactly what it is.
I think they're calling, they can go penalty or safety, I think. I think they're signaling.
And they're taking the safety because we
smart.
We received the ball back. So that,
super smart.
So we had, the Shaler coaches had choice there. I believe what was in question, folks, was the line set when the ball was snapped?
Yes.
The punter, who I'm not familiar with the name of off the Newcastle roster, was not ready for the snap.
That's Alex Fox.
It hit right off his foot, and Shaler was in on it. He fell on it right on the goal plane there, right on the goal line. And
he didn't even realize it first.
Right.
He thought the play was dead after the flag got thrown. Heard maybe a whistle, possibly. Thought a whistle got blown, and he just fell on it, realizing, oh shoot, there's Shaler players coming at me for this ball right now. Because if Shaler picked that up, that's a touchdown.
Well, I would rather have it as a safety, as a coach.
2 points, and then you can still put up 7.
But we get the ball back.
And remember, on a safety, I believe it is a punt.
That's professional. I'm not sure what it is in high school.
But they are moved back. They're at the 20 right now. It's enforced because of the penalty. The puzzle pieces are coming together.
Okay, in high school Whitfield, it's not a punt. It becomes a free kick. I'm sorry, not a free kick, but a place kick.
Yes, and I would be surprised if this is in the air. I would expect this to be on the ground, squibbed towards one of the sides here. If it's in the air, it could cause a little bit of problem for Shaler, though. So we're going to see how, number 31, Angel Porras does here.
This ball is being kicked from the 20-yard line. It does get in the air. It's going to hit midfield. Someone's got to pick it up from Shaler, and they do. Crossing midfield, flag thrown right away.
That's Cade Morga on the return.
Brought down right at Newcastle's, what looks like 46 to 45-yard line. Flag is down. It looked like a play. It looked like the flag occurred somewhere at the 35 to 40-yard line. I want to see the head referee call here.
I think they're moving back. Most likely a hold on Shaler. Wouldn't be surprised.
Hold or illegal contact, at least in
I would assume hold, as it looked like a lot of Newcastle Red Hurricanes really crashed in there on that return.
Okay, and that's what it's on. It's going to be holding on Shaler. Penalty enforced 10 yards, still first down, and the ball will rest on now Shaler's 44-yard line. You know what, that 30 seconds remaining in the first quarter here. Titans with the pistol set. Dominic Rossi back at quarterback. He hands it off right up the gut to Luke Segnetti. And short gain, if any, for the Titans. It looks like it was a 2-yard gain there.
And Steve, I think one thing I've noticed in this game particularly, and even in the last couple of seasons, is watching the Titans football, is they really don't get gains until about second or third down. First down really isn't, I believe, a get gains type of, play. It's to figure out what kind of defense Newcastle or their opponent's going to run. But, obviously it didn't work out too well. We only got a gain or two. But, it's going to end the quarter there, Steve.
Yep, and as the first quarter expires, we can see at the scoreboard that the Newcastle Hurricanes up 7 to Shaler's 2 with Shaler's ball at their own 46-yard line. Coming back into the second quarter of this game, John, I really think the Titans offense really needs to bring some more passing to the table. They're running out of the pistol set. They've run a lot of passes, a lot of QB sweeps, a couple of run-pass option plays here. I really think they need to get back in throwing the ball. They need to get the ball downfield, whether they're throwing into the flat or throwing across midfield. They need to move the sticks more, and they're just not getting it consistently off of the pistol set runs.
Yeah, Steven, I think one big thing that's changed from the last 2 years into this year is that they did lose a passing option, which was Logan Burness, I believe the 6'6", 6'7" tight end that they had. He's now transitioned back into, I believe, a right tackle or a left tackle on whatever side, Strong. And, he's there now, so that doesn't give them that passing option. So for guys that are a little bit undersized, like Caden Orga or Keenan Shevtenka, it's going to be really hard, to get past these Newcastle defenders.
All right, and it's going to be play action. Thrown into the flat to Signetti. Met right away, though, by a Newcastle defender, and that was Keegan Smetanka as their quarterback on that play there.
And I think they're trying to change it up, as we talked earlier, maybe get some height on the outside. As Dom Rossi, the 6-foot quarterback, they're going to try and throw him out. And it's actually Dylan Schlegel, who is what I would per se the primary slot receiver, goes to the sideline here. I think Rossi's going to be near side here.
It's in the air. It's thrown into the flat. Signetti's got it, but it's not there for the gain, and it brings up a fourth down. The throwing in the flat is great, but that was very lucky to be completed, and I thought that was going to be a really big hit.
Yeah, Signetti's lucky he didn't get popped right there.
Yeah, he threw it. He was very exposed. His body was opened up, and I really thought the defenders were going to bite down on that and hit him on his blind side, and that brings up a fourth down.
They're going to go for it, Steve. This is big here because
this is a precarious decision, and I in one way, they're right at midfield.
Let's see, with 4 to go, Steve.
It's run pass option. Blitz comes, throw it in the flats, completed, bobbled, still up, running out. It's going to be close to where the spot is. And
I think they're going to call it short. I'm not, well, I could be wrong, actually.
Spot here.
It's hard to see. I thought Joe DiSabato got it.
He's going to be short. That's going to be Newcastle's ball.
And again, not what you want to see at all from the Titans. You get a retry after that safety to get back on the field and put some more points on the board, but clearly not able to work it out. And I think what you said earlier, throwing it in the flat isn't always a bad thing, but it's just not going to work with guys.
You need to get balls more vertically down.
Yes.
You need to go north to south more than you do east to west on a football field.
Yep.
You can gain yards going east to west and trying to get upfield more, but it has to be in zone coverage. When you're playing the man-on-man set, it's very tough, to try to gain a lot of yardage.
Yeah, those
off
corners and safeties on Newcastle
flats.
are not being dragged back at all, so they're staying in and staying home, and they're just able to crash.
And Chris Hood takes it, hands it off to the outside. He's got blockers up and brought down, but not after the first. That's going to be Andre Jackson with the run and carry there for a gain of about 12 for the Hurricanes. So right off the bat, they get their first down and move the sticks, and that's going to be at Shaler's now 40-yard line.
And Steve, what you don't want to see here is, again, a lot of guys on the Shaler team are playing both ways. I mean, almost exactly the same, other than maybe for a couple of linebackers here and there. Obviously, they're not going to play offense.
Yep.
What you don't want to see is guys from offense getting frustrated and then going on the defensive side and letting it get to their heads, and Newcastle takes advantage of that. So you don't want to see if you're a Shaler Titan.
And it's going to be a pass deflected by number 2 from Shaler. That's going to be Tristan Holland flag on the play on the Shaler sidelines, right at the line of scrimmage area.
Let's see.
I don't know if it's
Might
going
be
to be a
pointing
legal
at, I think he's
formation.
pointing at Newcastle here.
It could be an incorrect lineup of one of the receivers. It could be a legal formation. Let's see what it is. Okay, head referee with the call. Legal formation set up, I believe. Repeat first down, 5-yard penalty from the spot.
I would assume that would be the most logical option.
And that's what it is.
Now, Steve, can I give you a little bit of a tidbit that I had found out earlier in the week?
Yeah, go ahead.
So it turns out that the head coach, Joe Cowart of the Newcastle Red Hurricanes, had gone on to state that the 2020 Newcastle football team is going to be burn the ship mentality. Now, what I've tried to figure out is that most likely the plan is just break down your opponent until they're completely burned out.
Run pass option. It's kept by Chris Hood, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage, maybe a short gain of about a yard on the play.
But Steve, to go back to that burn the ship mentality, I think it's kind of prevailing, to be honest. It's been a lot of run game for the Newcastle Red Hurricanes, and right now a lot of Shaler players probably are getting pretty fatigued, and we're barely into the start of the second quarter here.
And second down and 14, I believe. Trip set. One man in the backfield with Chris Hood. Shaler brings blitz. Drop back. Pass across the middle. Incomplete. Intended receiver was going to be Tyler Leakins. And he was over the middle. Shaler brought blitz. Chris Hood tried to get the ball off on target. Came out a little low and behind his intended receiver. That's going to bring up a 3rd and 14 for the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I think Leakins there tried to get with one hand, probably maybe felt the pressure from somebody and thought he just had to drag it in real quick, but he had a lot more time, a lot more open space, and could have used 2 hands, but just kind of fell out when he went to go one hand. It's just an unfortunate completion that brings up, like you said, 3rd and 14 for the Hurricanes.
And that's going to bring up their trip set, single back set, back there in the backfield with Chris Hood. Chris takes it to the outside. He's got a little bit of an opening. He's looking downfield. He's taking it himself. He's hit it just short, and progress will be stopped. He was hit by a gang of Titans.
Might be at, I believe, the 35 is what I would say is the farthest he got.
I'm trying to think of where his progress, was necessarily.
Ooh, they're going to put him at the 37. That's about 2 or 3 yards shorter than I actually thought he got to there, Steve.
Yeah, it's like in the many years that we covered these football games, John, you notice the forward progress rule goes both ways. If you make it to a certain point and you're directly stopped and you do not move anymore, you are rolled at that spot. If you make it to a certain spot, you get out of the tackle, you continue to move your feet and advance, and then fall backwards. It's weird how the spot is played. Punted very, very high. Shaler needs to be careful where they bleed this one at.
What a roll for Newcastle.
What a roll for Newcastle. As they pin that back to the Shaler's 6-yard line.
And that's going to be rough there, Steve, because Shaler hasn't been pinned, honestly, even inside their own 15 this entire game. And they've been very heavy run set and into the flat, like you said earlier, on their passes. So it's going to be real interesting here who they bring out as the QB and what they're going to try and do to get. I mean, they're at their 7-yard line here, Steve. They got a lot of room to work with, but they have a lot of room to work with going forward, not a lot going backwards.
Right. Not a lot of breathing room to their backs, John.
Nope.
8:15 remaining in the second quarter.
And I think that's going to be Keegan Schmatenka again out back on quarterback. So we might be actually just seeing a permanent situation here. Schmatenka's going to take quarterback, and Rossi's going to stay out towards the outside areas. But I don't know
if I'm too keen on that decision yet, but we'll see what happens. There's still a lot of football to be played. I formation, man in motion on the outside for the Titans. They run it up the middle, and they at least get out and get some breathing room away. That almost is a game of 10 or 9 yards, and that's going to be number 8, Augie Tatoria,
who actually is the younger brother of Roman Tortorella, remember, from 2 years ago. One of the fullbacks on that 2019-2020 Shaler football team, big name, had the infamous run against Armstrong, about 70 yards, one of the best plays of the season.
Yes.
So obviously his younger brother here, Augie, trying to be strong and back in that fullback position.
I formation, man in motion. They dive it up the middle. It's going to be a short gain, if any, making it back to the line of scrimmage.
And not what you want to see there. you definitely wanted to try and see if you could get across here on a 2nd and 2.
And they do. They did mark him good for the first down as they dove it across. They didn't have much. They didn't have much more to go to the stick, and they did get the good spot there, moving the chains. So Shaler was able to move it from their 7 all the way out to their, looks like, what is that, their 16 or 17 yard line. So they at least have some breathing room to their backs.
Yeah, very impressive there from the Shaler offense. Able to get out in about two or three plays there. Obviously great you didn't have to go punt it away or anything like that and face a 4th down, so a lot more breathing room to work with, like you said earlier, Steve.
Shaler lines up in the I formation, man in motion. Flag is thrown from the
near side.
False start or delay of game is going to be the call against the Titans as the play clock expires. They weren't able to get the snap off in time. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down and 15.
I got real scared,
12.
Steve. Shaler started moving back a little bit much, and I thought it was 10 yards, and I thought Whitfield might have changed it to 10.
No, 5-yard penalty there for the delay of game.
So let's see.
Some substitutes come in. That brings number 13 into the game for Shaler. That is going to be Dylan Schlegel. I did not see who the second substitution was. Shaler's still going to be, Shaler's going to go from the single man back with a 4 receiver set, dropping back, looking pass, throws it in the flat, completed to Josh Miller. Josh Miller's wrapped up for a short gain. It's going to bring up 2nd down and
maybe 13 or 12.
13 or 12. I can't see the spot. You know, John, from looking from down here, it's hard to see exactly where the spot is.
Of course.
We don't have far side markers.
And Steve, again, I think common theme, and you've been saying it and I've been saying it, is that these little flat and out passes aren't going to work right now against the Hurricanes. They're not committing to these deep balls on, Shaler's routes. They're not, they're staying home and they're waiting to crash because as of right now, they haven't thrown anything more than 15 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. And okay, so we see the same setup, pistol or single back set, quad, drops it back, thrown in the flat, one-handed grab, really nice. He's got a little bit of working room. Josh Miller with the reception in the flat, caught some open ground, gets it all the way out to their own 28 to 27 yard line, depending on the spot. And that's a first down and 10 for the Shaler area Titans. John, we just said, they're not the fix-all.
No.
Throws across the flat is not the fix-all. You need to run different routes. You need to get the out routes. You need to get post routes.
I think they're very lucky there that Josh Miller has that IQ of a receiver right there to be able to get that in one hand and then figure out where he's going. Because if not, Josh Miller seriously could have got hurt there on that one.
I formation, man in motion. They dive it up the middle to Miller. Miller gets it out to the 32 to 33 yard line. So that's a gain of about 4 yards. 2nd down in about 7.
And Steve, I think one thing that I've noticed from Newcastle's side of the ball is on defense, they're staying pretty strong out there. I mean, not a lot of fatigue, it looks like. And, honestly, I think it's breaking down Shaler a little bit offensively. They're not really able to break through and get a lot of big plays. I mean, the first drive they had a couple big plays of about 20 yards and not able to get anything since maybe over 10.
What I've noticed here is the Newcastle Hurricanes defense is rotating a little bit more substitutes in and out. Shaler, quad set, drops back, looking downfield, long ball, man wide open. Dylan Schlegel is wide open. He's at the 40. He's at the 30, brought down at the 25-yard line. He was wide open, no man coverage on him on the outside.
And that was beautiful, Steve. Nothing else that you could have probably asked for in the situation. We've been saying it. You got to start throwing things further downfield because right now Newcastle's staying home, and I think that's what happened is that the safety and the corner on Newcastle both stayed home thinking that it was going to be a flat. Schmatenka tried to roll back, made it look like he was throwing it out to the flat. Schlegel said, hey, I'm wide open on the field. My guy didn't commit to me. He committed to you. Schmatenka, hey, he's still got an arm, even if he's throwing flats. Throws it down to Schlegel, and it gets him to about the 27-yard line.
High formation, man in motion. Dive it up the middle. And that's a good gain of about 6 yards there for number 8, Augie Tortorilla.
Always a troublesome name for you, isn't it, Steve?
That's a tongue twister, folks.
But yeah, Steve, again, very impressive there from the Titans. Again, first play there, an 8-yard gain from Tortorella. and they're moving the sticks right now, and they're getting the momentum and the train back on their track.
So the Titans started this drive off a safety. They actually
No, this is not safety drive.
Let's rewind. They started it from the their own 7. They've moved it all the way down to the opponent's 20. They're in the red zone. I formation, dive it up to Augie Tortorella. Augie's fumbled it.
I hope that he's down. They're going to call him down. Very, very dangerous there from Tortorella. Not what you want to do if you're going down. He tried to reach out, gain a couple of yards, but if you're not down and you're still kind of open in the air and not being dragged down by somebody, that's easily punchable, and he's very lucky there the ref called him down because he could have not have been down. That could have been a pickup and a recovery from Newcastle.
3rd down in about a yard or half of a yard.
Yeah, Steve, this is big. You got to convert here. Again, 4th down, and, even if it's still inches, it's still, can get to your head a little bit. So this is big for the Titans. They have to convert here if they want a chance, with only 3 minutes left in this quarter and a half.
Absolutely. I agree with you 110% there, John. 3rd down in about a little bit less than a yard. We see a timeout being called by the Titans. This is their first timeout elected in the half. 2:45 remaining in the second quarter. Hurricanes up 7-2 on the Titans. Titans with 2 timeouts remaining, and the Hurricanes with 1 remaining in the half.
Yeah, Steven, I just want to say a little bit about Shaler. That drive was honestly pretty impeccable. I mean, they managed to make things work that probably wouldn't have worked for a lot of other teams. I mean, Josh Miller, that one-handed snag on that 2nd and 18, I want to say, to get them that first down, get them out of the pickle. That was big. And then, obviously Schlegel's, 40-yard reception
35 to 40-yard reception there downfield on his stop-and-go route. And this is what's interesting. It's 2 teams that very rarely ever play each other, nowhere near in the close to a section. The Hurricanes play in the I believe it's the Whippeal Parkway West Conference.
Yes.
It's a 4A conference, as the Titans play in the Whippeal Northeast Conference, and that's a 5A. And so it's 2 different teams, not even in the same counties, playing against each other.
No, sir.
It's about an hour
drive each way.
hour drive each way. So it's nice to see some separation. What I'm trying to get at is they don't know each other at all.
There's no bad blood.
Right, and that's what brings the game, which is nice. See 2 teams that aren't really familiar with each other. However, their records are very comparable between the last 2 years. So,
Steve, they do convert there, actually, as we were talking about that. Shaler did manage to get about 1 or 2 yards. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 from Newcastle 18. But like you said, actually, they have played each other, I think, previously a couple years ago, week 0, a couple times. But again, there's not going to be any really bad blood from that. So I think, there's a nice little history here. Week 0, you play each other a couple of times. And, this again, remember, this game is to figure out where you're going to be on the totem pole. It doesn't count to anything, but you want to figure out where you are and figure out your identity as a group.
Absolutely. Titans looking to pass. Blitz comes, thrown across the middle. It's caught. Shaler is in for the touchdown. Pass thrown to I believe it's number 3, Joe DiSabato with the reception.
Not too sure if that was 9 Caden or number 3 Joe DiSabato. I think you're right, Steve. I think it was DiSabato. But either way, great dump off to Sabato by Shevchenko, finding him in the middle. And he did stay on his feet. He almost could have used the tackle.
He almost was taken down. He fought his way up, and he makes it into the end zone. And the Titans going for the extra point attempt here.
Wow, now this is different, Steve. Remember, 2 years ago, I don't think we saw any kicks from the Titans, only 2-point conversions. Remember the muddle huddle, Steve?
Yep. And
timeout.
Timeout elected by, I'm not certain.
Maybe they are going to run for a 2-point conversion here, maybe to figure it out.
I'm not sure. They didn't really give a good signal here as to who took this time out.
But Steve, we did see muddle huddle for, I believe, the last 2 years. So, I mean, seeing from a kicking standpoint, Shaler, had struggled in the last couple of years with kickers, nothing really consistent or, something to be proud about. You had guys like Brandon Burdick, Sam Benz come in, very solid kickers. But again, I think from Shaler's standpoint, it's better to go for 2 than go for 1 and maybe possibly miss.
I see. Yeah.
I think the probability is not really there for you on a kick, so just go for 2 and screw it.
Titans were very fortunate to, capitalize. They didn't capitalize when they got the ball back from that safety. However, they did use that safety to their advantage. Now They are actually within the lead by 1 point. Titans now lead the Hurricanes 8-7. And Titans took that time to look it over and say, we're going to go for 2.
Let's see.
Man in motion off the wing. Titans quarterback rollout, thrown to the end zone, and it's caught. And Titans will convert for 2. That was Keegan Smetanka with the throw over to the top of the end zone.
Not too sure. Can't see the number. It looks like in the high 60s. Not sure, Steve.
I think it was
Max
Dylan
Brett's screwing us over.
Yeah, I believe that was Dylan Schlegel by on the stature there, but I'm not too certain. Titans now lead the Hurricanes 10-7 with 2:06 remaining in the half.
And Steve, I said earlier how Jim Ryan had stated that, from Dom Rossi and Keegan Smetanka, either way could be an option depending on how the game was going to go. And earlier we thought, hey, Dom Rossi's going to stay and he's doing well, he's getting the ball to those guys. But Keegan Smetanka, after having a rough maybe 2 or 3 drives, has really proved himself in these last 2 drives here that, hey, I can step in and fill in and be the quarterback right now. I can find my guys and find my spots and open up pathways. And he's done that absolutely beautifully. And for Dom Rossi, it sucks in that situation, but, the team's got to do what the team's got to do. And for Dom Rossi, if at any chance that he gets now, he needs to reprove himself. If he gets back to quarterback or if he goes back to a wide receiver position, he needs to reprove himself and say, hey, I'm still here. I'm still going to play for this team.
And kicks up and away.
It's a really good kick, actually, there, Steve. It's going to travel out. I believe that's 15.
That's going to be a penalty for kicking out of bounds, and the ball should be placed at the 40-yard line automatically.
And what's crazy about that kick, Steve, is it might have looked nonchalant, but if we remember 2 years ago in that Armstrong game, remember Shane Skelly actually managed to pick up a squib that wasn't an intentional onside kick at all. It's just Armstrong fell asleep and let the ball kind of roll towards him, and Shane Skelly, he was lightning quick and just ran and scooped it and picked it up, and he got it. It was Shaler's ball right there. That easily could have been Shaler's ball if maybe someone speedy on the side had chased it down and maybe forced a Newcastle defender to pick it up. But again, just rolled out of bounds. So, a little tidbit there for you, Steve.
Yeah, John, appreciate that little flashback in Titan history, in recent Titan history, I should say there, John.
It's actually going to be interesting what Newcastle does here. They've had a little bit of a lull action on the last couple of drives, not able to make a lot happen. But again, maybe revamped and reamped, might try and do something special here.
Yep. And they're going to throw it right across the flat. I don't know if that's going to be caught or on the ground.
If anything, I would say he caught that.
And play clock still running. 1:55. And the clock dwindling down. They're running the hurry up. 5 receiver set, single back. Chris Hood by himself in the backfield.
Oh, we're going to have a whistle.
Flag. I believe this is definitely going to be illegal formation and or false start. Not sure where. It's going to be a false start on the offense, backing them up 5.
That's not that good for Newcastle here.
That's very interesting to throw Chris Hood's single back set with a 5 receiver set on there with the success that Austin Timko has had tonight with 3 sacks in the backfield off a similar set. 5 receiver set, Chris Hood single back. Looking for the long ball across the middle. It is dropped. Almost complete. Hit the hands of number 1, Tajon Wilkins. And it was unable to be completed. That's going to bring up 3rd down and about 9 remaining for the Hurricanes.
Now, I think, Steve, it's really interesting that you say that. Yeah, it was super interesting that they're going single back set, especially with Timko and Tristan Holland getting back in there, and they're actually going to go back to it again. 5 out for the Newcastle Hurricanes right now,
5
Steve.
receivers set. Looks like a Hail Mary. He did the cross. He throws it up across the middle. Almost intercepted as it hits the hands of number 33, Luke Signetti. Great read there by Luke Signetti, however, as in the strong safety position. He made a very great call. You could see him. He was set right in the middle of the field, read the quarterback's eyes, and drew to the ball. He did not make the play.
Nope.
However, he made the correct read, and that's great to see out of the Titans.
That's what you want to see, especially, it's about getting to that position more than it is making the play in that sense. But
I want to give a lot of great credit to Chris Hood, stepping up as from a backup position. I'm not very familiar if he's had any other background experience playing in quarterback in recent years, but it's a heck of a feeling to be in a single back set with 5 wide receivers and no one helping you out. Shaler makes a clean catch, fair catch at their own 32-yard line with 1 minute 17 seconds remaining in the half before halftime. But getting back to my point, it's a very different feeling when you're in the backfield solo with no help, no blockers, no pistol formation, and you have a 5-receiver set coming up.
Yeah, for sure, Steve. It's definitely interesting to see here is from the first quarter, I mean, everything was going Newcastle's way, and there wasn't really anything that flipped the switch. It's just kind of like slowly but surely Shaler got their momentum back.
And they're going to roll out to the flat. He's getting chased, throws it into the flat, caught, heavy, big hit. John, and
that's a dangerous one.
Right.
That's what most people would say.
In that situation, you're outside of the box, throw the ball away.
Yeah, I would say in that situation, it's better to throw it away than lose 2.
It's not worth the open hit there at the flat, but you at least keep the clock running. Down in a halftime, Shaler controls the clock. 50 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, I'd expect them to run this one out, unless actually I think Newcastle might have just called a timeout.
Shaler elected to take the timeout there, actually.
Pretty smart. I wouldn't lie, I guess, in that situation. If you're Jim Ryan, hey, man, Jim Ryan loves to score points.
Right. You're already giving the ball back first after halftime. You're picking right up. So another score would be great, to go into halftime with a little bit more, to pick up more momentum. They just came off a great fourth drive? What I'm trying to say is they just did a 3-and-out to
Newcastle.
To Newcastle, forcing the punt.
Yes.
So they have some good defensive momentum. It'd be nice to go into the locker room with a good offensive momentum as well.
Yeah, Steve, and I think one thing, like you said earlier, is that you definitely don't want to, you want to still put points up on the board, but you don't want to have a mistake here and give Newcastle the chance to score, as you're still only at your own 31. If anything could go wrong here, maybe a fumble and interception, Newcastle could take that back and put it in with still 44 seconds left.
Absolutely.
So you got to still play it safe here.
Anyone's football game, still a lot of time. Shaler lines up with Keegan Smetanka as quarterback. Quad receiver set, one man in the backfield. Blitz comes. He's going to take it himself. He rolls out. He looks downfield. He's got a man downfield. That is caught by number 13, Dylan Schlegel.
Let's see. They're going to go hurry up here, Steve. Not waste that timeout. And again, like you said earlier, it's great. You got that deep downfield ball. Smetanka rolled out, evaded the blitz, rolled out to the right, found an open Dylan Schlegel. He brings it down for the easy catch, and the clock hits 30 seconds. See what the Titans can do.
Clock at 30 seconds. Looking downfield again. Throw. Dylan Schlegel. He's got to get out of bounds, and he does.
Very
ball
smart.
At the 40.
Now they can take their time, Steve.
Right. That was a very heads-up move by a more veteran player there, getting out of bounds, not having to use a timeout. Both teams with one timeout remaining, with 26 seconds remaining in the half.
And Steve, it's going to be real interesting at the 40-yard line with 26 seconds left. What play call do they go with here on the Shaler side?
You're going downfield. You got a quad receiver set, one man backfield as they do now. You're looking downfield as they do right there. Man over top, he's open in the middle. That's going to be number 9, Caden Orga. I expect the Titans to take a timeout right now or spike the ball.
Who just took that timeout?
No one.
No one. They go hurry up. Oh yeah, ball needs to get set.
Oh, wait a moment.
Too many men.
They got him on an illegal substitution.
Yep.
Great heads-up football.
Oh, my goodness. What a turn of events right there.
So did they have too many men on the field, or was that an illegal substitution?
Not sure either way, but it was smart by Shaler, because in that situation, I think Newcastle kind of lulled and assumed, hey, they're just going to call a timeout, let the clock maybe run. But again, the clock doesn't go until the ball is put down in the whipfield. Until the ball's set, the clock doesn't start up again. That's how that works.
Okay, I wonder if, what I'm trying to wonder is if they will put any time back to the clock if there's no runoff.
Not sure.
I don't believe so.
I mean, is there a penalty? I'm not even sure they even enforced the penalty. Probably not.
They got a first down and 5 off quad receiver set. So they look downfield. He's going to be,
he's still up.
He's still up. Throws the end zone. Back corner. Ball's up for grabs. Not completed. Ball's out of bounds with 6 seconds to go. I thought that was going to turn into a sack.
I thought that was Johnny Manziel, Texas A&M scramble against Alabama, man. That was some crazy stuff from Keegan Smetanka, able to evade the grasp of that Newcastle defensive lineman, evade to his left and throw it up for Joji Sabato. Obviously not able to make the play, but very smart and very high IQ.
John, this was an amazing drive by the Titans. I'm going to be honest.
They still have a chance.
They do, and this is going to take us right into our halftime show. Let's see what happens. I think they have time for about one more play. Quad receiver set. They look downfield. He throws it up to the back.
Wide open.
A man open. Dylan Schlegel with the touchdown. What a play. What a drive by the Titans. Thrown by Keegan Smetanka to Dylan Schlegel in the back right corner of the end zone. The Titans sneak up another touchdown in with 1.5 seconds to go before the halftime.
And Steve, how about them Titans? What a drive, Steve. There's nothing else to say other than that's how hard work and playing smart gets you on those drives right there. It was beautiful all the way around, the run game, the pass game, all of it came together. And the Titans put 7 more on the board, and they only had like 40 seconds, Steve. Come on, Steve, with the 1.5 here. The Jack Keenan's going to put this through. Wow,
and
great kick.
Boots it through, almost taking that to the buses. And the Titans will go into halftime with the score of 17-7.
Newcastle 7.
Well, I believe they technically have to kick the ball off.
Yes, and I think they're just, Newcastle's going to take it and down it and go into half. But Steve, what a great, impressive half from Shaler. I mean, early in that first quarter, we thought, oh man, Shaler's kind of down in the mud, down in the dirt, kind of getting on themselves already, frustration maybe to set. And then this second quarter has been absolutely beautiful. They turned the tides, they flipped the script, whatever how how the tables have been turned. However you say it, I mean, the Shaler Titans did everything that they needed to do and executed it perfectly to get themselves back on the scoreboard and get them back in the game.
As we talked previously, coming off the last offensive drive from Newcastle, we said the Titans needed they got the good defensive stop, now they needed a good offensive drive into halftime. They just answered that call by scoring there, marching over 60 yards to payday in the end zone.
Yes, sir, Steve.
And they're going to have to kick this one off.
Let's see.
They're going to squib it, and it's right into the front row.
And that's just going to end it, though, Steve.
And that's going to end it. And that takes us to halftime with the score, Shaler area Titans 17 to Newcastle 7. And this will bring us right into our halftime show with the Shaler area band. Join us after the halftime show right here back up in the booth for second half coverage, and then stay with us after the game for our post-game coverage. We'll see you back.
Welcoming the pride of Shaler area, our award-winning Titan Marching Band. We proudly take the field celebrating 50 years of Titan pride in collaboration with 50 years of Walt Disney World magic. The past year has brought many uncertainties, but we found the courage to travel into the unknown. You're welcome to navigate these uncertain times with a friend like me. The circle of life can bring us in many different directions, but in the words of Walt Disney, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. The Shaler Area Titan Marching Band is under the direction of Mr. George Pepsich.
It's 8 o'clock right now. Maybe we could be out of here before 9. 9 o'clock.
welcome back to the second half of the football game, brought with Shaler area and against the Newcastle Hurricanes. Titans leading the Hurricanes 17-7 as they prepare to kick off and the Hurricanes prepare to receive. John, what do you think were some great points by the Shaler Titans in the first half of play?
Well, Steve, early in that first quarter, it looked pretty strong. Unfortunately, unfortunate fumble in that first drive.
Right.
And then, through the first and a little bit earlier into the second, pretty lackluster, trying to find themselves offensively. And then come like 9 minutes into the, about at the 9-minute mark in the second, started blowing Newcastle out of the water. The run game was so impressive. And eventually, the passes in the flat and down the sideline looked really strong by King and Shotenka. So overall, a very impressive turnaround in that second quarter. And Newcastle, who were very strong opposite-wise, very strong offensively into the second quarter, eventually just kind of almost stopped in their tracks. Momentum completely flipped, and now we're looking at a score of 17-7, where we thought, Shaler might not even put up points right now on the way that they were going, but Shaler's up 10 right now heading into the second half. Steve, what do you think? Because for me right now, Shaler is really going well in the momentum, but they do kick off.
Yeah, they have great offensive and defensive momentum. The last defensive drive was great. The last offensive drive was near pristine. Coming off that, the Hurricanes played a great first quarter, a little bit of mishaps, but they struck first, but they just have not been able to do much offensively from that. I think they really are asking a lot from Chris Hood right now. They're running sometimes 5-receiver set or a 4-receiver set, and so it really is a interesting.
He doesn't have a lot of experience from what we know.
Right, and they're trying to ask a lot for him. That's why I think they're really trying to do too much on their offense, but I could be wrong. We'll see what happens here within the second half.
Yeah, it was only like 2 minutes, so I guess maybe, test it, see what you can get out of it before you get, they do get the ball back, so it honestly could be pretty smart.
Right.
But again, we're going to have to see how it plays out, because again, fresh set of legs, you got, 20 minutes under your belt to kind of refresh, get back in, hydrate, rest a little bit. Don't get too rested, get tight, stay loose, but you got to be prepared to get back in this. And, hey, you're still playing to win this game regardless here. And, Titans up 10. They're not going to try and let anything happen to, let them back in the game.
Absolutely. I can't agree with you more there, John. And as the halftime clock runs down into 0, we want to start and begin this second half of play. Titans have been ready to kick, and the Hurricanes have been ready to receive. And it looks like now we will be underway with the second half, waiting for the officials to make the call. Great turnout from all sides. The Shaler section and the Hurricane section pretty filled up. Very great football game, and we are underway of second half football. Squib kicked out. It's bobbled. It's one-hand grab. It's at the 10. They're bringing it out. He's got some running room. Brought down at the 45-yard line.
Yeah, 45, 44. Solid there. And see, that was a pretty decent squib there. But, the receiver, I'm sorry, even lost his number. But, managed to make well work of it and brought it out to the 45. Very impressive. And a good start for Newcastle in these first 10 seconds here. And, we got to see what they can do and how they can flip the script here.
Right, that was a great pickup and return. Great speed and athleticism there by the kick returner. I'm not sure. I didn't catch his name or number. But a great athleticism there to get the ball on a squib. It was bobbled, and he made it all the way out to the 45. Chris Hood going under center. They have a trip receiver set. Tight end in motion to the left side, strong side, under center. They run the dive to the outside. It's bobbled, but the Shaler Titans are all over it. And that's a huge tackle for loss in the backfield, mainly by number 2.
It's Tristan Holland again coming up huge on that play, Steve.
Wow, so really some honorable mentions here so far in the evening from the Shaler defense. Tristan Holland and definitely that Austin Timko making some humongous plays. Almost reminded me of a Ryan Tebow from the early 2019 season and some of his performances off the edge.
Yes, sir. It's looking very similar, and they're staying strong and staying home.
Chris Hood, pistol set, looking for pass downfield, throws across. Titans are all over it, and he's swarmed up.
Let's see, did he get across for the first? He might be about a yard or two short.
Ran back. See, that's where the forward progress hurts you.
Let's see, yeah, they're going to mark him at the 51. 50 watts. They put him actually in the middle-ish.
So he's got a 3rd and 4 coming up.
This is big because, you know, if Newcastle wants to get back their momentum back, they have to convert here because, again, you really don't want to punt in this situation, especially, you know, just about at the halfway, the 50-yard.
Chris Hood, trip set. He's going to take it for himself, and he's going to get it. He's got a lane. He's at the 30, the 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Chris Hood takes it himself all the way to the big house, and he puts 6 on the board for the Hurricanes in the opening drive here at the second half.
And what a play call that was by the Newcastle Hurricanes. Hood in that situation read it perfectly. Actually, the O-line should get a lot of credit on that. They managed to hold off that rushing defensive line of Shaler, and it's almost like he was Le'Veon Bell, if you remember his 2015-ish times where he would stay patient, wait for it to open up, and Chris Hood managed to roll off the right side of that blocking edge, and he just took it down the sideline, and no one was there covering on the end, and he just took it to the house, and he scored, and he just put him up. 6 more points, and if they can put this through there, they brought it back to a 3-point game here, Steve.
And the kick is up, and no good, and it's off the post, and it will remain a 4-point ball game. Newcastle scoring right on the opening drive of this second half. Newcastle 13, Shaler 7, 10:28 to play here in the third quarter.
And Steve, as we head into this next drive for the Shaler Titans, it's going to be big. They have to be able to respond in this situation, and they have to be able to say, hey, all right, they score in the first minute and a half. What Shaler should actually do in this situation is run time off of the clock.
Right.
Newcastle might get excited, and they might try and be like, yes, let's go, we did it. But Shaler said, hey, we're going to take time. We got 10 minutes and 30 seconds in this quarter. Let's take 6 minutes off the clock.
The Titans really need to, they have 23 minutes of football still left to be played, essentially. They need to answer that touchdown. The Newcastle Hurricanes did exactly what they needed to do. Come out of halftime, prepared, ready to go. They drove down the field and they executed what they needed to do. The Titans need to answer that. I think they gave a little bit, up a little bit, and the Hurricanes capitalized on that. And as the Hurricanes prepare to get this kick underway, I still don't have a good look at who is
I'm going to assume, from what I've seen, it's Joe DiSabato and presumably Caden Orga is what I'm going to assume.
Okay, deep for the Titans return.
Very similar to the Shane Skelly, Julian Pavito return, actually. Very speedy, quick guys back there.
And the Hurricanes get this ball underway. It's a deep kick. It's going to be the Orga, I believe. He's going to get it at he's brought it all the way out to the Titans.
27.
I'm sorry. Their Titans own 27-yard line, and that was number 3. That's going to be Joe DiSabato. I apologize for the mispronunciation there.
And Steve, I believe one takeaway before we head into this drive from that last drive for the Newcastle Hurricanes was that Shaler hopefully isn't getting kind of caught on their heels in a run game situation, because if Newcastle figures out, hey, they're kind of lacking on run game, hey, Chris Wood might have a field day this next quarter.
Thrown into the flat, intercepted by Schlegel. Schlegel's got a gap. He takes it out to the 50. And that's a pickup of about 20 yards, a 22-yard gain by the Titans there.
That was very impressive there by Dylan Schlegel. Made one man miss. He said, hey, I'll do it again. I'll make another man miss. And he said, hey, I'm going to take this for about, what do we want to say, about a 20-yard gain?
21-yard gain there by the Titans.
So Schlegel, again, who had a very, kind of lackluster first, and then even in the second quarter, kind of didn't get a lot of action, and then coming up big there, he had his 140-yard reception there, and now he comes up big again with another 20-yard early in this third quarter.
Play action draw. He's going to take it as a quarterback keep. He gets it out of bounds. Smart heads up run there by Smetanka. Keegan Smetanka back taking the snaps, it looks like, for now. He had a great heads-up play there. He realized the blitz was present, and he got out of there, got the ball out of bounds, and still picked up some yards while he was doing it. Second down at about 7 for the Titans coming up as they cross midfield, and they are on the Newcastle 46-yard line. They have a quad receiver set, man in slot. They run it out. It's going to be a run pass option. The toss to the outside. It's going to be to Josh Miller. Josh Miller's got a little bit of room, but he's brought down right at the 39-yard line.
Not sure. I don't.
Down.
He definitely didn't get chained. Oh wait, I could be wrong.
No, he's going to be just marked short. That was a great QB option there. Great toss execution. Snap, looks to the flats. Thrown, bobbled, but it's caught. But he wrong man. Take it downfield. Get in. What an unbelievable turn of events. Slow that one down. Watch it again. The intended receiver, I believe, was Schlegel, and it
speechless.
Went right through the hands and hit Caden Orga as he picks it up for at least a 45-yard gain. Unfortunately, we do have a player down on the field.
In the end zone for Newcastle.
And it will go into an injury timeout here. But would you look at a crazy turn?
Steve,
Steve,
you know what? You know, Steve, when you hear plays like that, you know, you kind of hear it as a kid. You know, you hear a little jingle in the air and you hear da-na-na, da-na-na, and you kind of think to yourself, what just happened? And from what it looks like, the intended receiver, I believe, was Dylan Schlegel or Caden Orga. And actually, excuse me, it was Dylan Schlegel, and went through his hands. And somehow Caden Orga, being in the right position at the right time, goes through Dylan Schlegel's hands into Caden Orga's chest. He bobbles it, picks it up, and he misses like 3 men, and he goes all the way down to the 5-yard line. I mean, Steve, it's leaving me speechless of how heads up that was from a very young player. And Steve, we haven't even gotten to the fact of how big these young players, sophomores and freshmen included, have been for the Shaler Titan team, including that right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a that'll bring them all the way down to the first and goal at, gonna say that is somewhere at the 5 or 4 yard line of the Hurricanes. What an impressive play there, an impressive athleticism shown by Caden Orga, really to make it work. And you know, he stayed on his feet all the way down to the end zone and really tried to get it in for 6, but he just wasn't able to.
Yeah, I mean, that was just super impressive. And for a young player to be heads up and to go, oh God, I've got it, you know, and he goes, all right, now I've got it. Takes it down for about 20 more yards and puts Shaler in the 5. But Steve, as we can see, the player is able to get back and unfortunately hobble off the field off of one leg. So, you know, hopefully he's able to, you know, get back on his feet pretty quickly here and, you know, not too hurt. You don't want to see that at all. So you want to see, especially in week 0.
Alrighty, and play will resume again. Titans I formation. Smetanka under center. And
I think we have a timeout.
I think it's a timeout elected by the Titans.
There's definitely some miscommunication on who's to be out there for the formation because someone came off, I believe, when they weren't supposed to, or someone's on when they weren't supposed to, and they said, oh, well, I got to come off, or it'll be 12 men. So they have to take a very unnecessary timeout here with 8:42 left in the third.
You got that right, and they burn a timeout pretty early into the second half. From the 8:42 remaining here in the third. Titans with 2 timeouts remaining as the Newcastle Hurricanes have 3. And the Titans really trying to answer here and come back from the Hurricanes touchdown they just put up on their last possession. So,
but Steve, like we said earlier, remember, we talked about it after Newcastle scored. We had to see how Shaler's ability to respond to that situation and not be like, oh shoot, they just scored in the first minute and 30, and say, hey, we can do the same thing, put numbers on. We're going to waste a little bit more clock, and Shaler's done just exactly that.
Titans, I formation. Smetanka under center. Gives it right up there. Oh, it's a run pass option. He had me faked out. Going for the pylon.
Is he in? He's going to be short a yard.
Oh, wow. Smetanka had me fooled there. I thought that was a run up the middle. He rolled out to the outside to throw, to do a little play action pass. And they mark him down right. I guess his
At
knee
the
must
1.
have touched the ground at the 1 yard line.
So, Steve, it's just, I don't want to say it, but anything can happen here. We don't want to see any mistake here, especially at the 1. If I was Shaler, I'd play it safe. If Josh Miller's in, hand it to him and power through it. And actually, I do believe Augie Tortorella is in at the fullback position, so I wouldn't be surprised if this goes power.
It looks like it's, and they run it right up the middle to Augie Tortorella, and he punches it in as the fullback position. The Titans put another 6 up on the board, bringing the score to Shaler 23, Hurricanes 13. 8:31 remaining in the third. Let's see what the Titans elect to do here. I definitely think they go for 2 again.
And they are. Smetanka does take the field here, Steve.
Trying to make this a 12-point ball game, make it a 2-score game. I'm sorry, make it a 3-score. No, I'm sorry.
It would be 2.
2-score.
Yes.
Sorry, 2-score game. And they elect to kick.
Oh, Smetanka's the holder, excuse me. That is my apology. But you never know. Smetanka could pick it up and throw it. I lied.
Kick. No good. No, I'm sorry. I apologize. That's a good kick.
A line drive kick there, Steve. No other way to explain it other than it just goes right above the crossbar there and just goes in, and hey, a point's a point.
Point's a point. I thought that missed left. Titans lead the Hurricanes 24-13. 8:31 remaining here in the third. And the Titans will kick off and the Hurricanes will receive. So the Titans answered right away to the Hurricanes. So both teams have scored very early into this third quarter. They've only ran off 3 minutes and 29 seconds of playing time. I'm sorry. No, I'm correct. 3 minutes, 29 seconds of playing time here in the third. Now that is a
Good math, Steve. I'm proud of you.
I did jumble my numbers there. I'm not going to lie. But the point of that is both teams scored with under 2 minutes of possession time.
Yeah, about. But Steve, getting back into the defensive things for Shaler and the offensive for Newcastle, we have to see how it's going to go because, I mean, pace of play right now, both teams have scored in about 2 minutes average time. So how this drive goes may decide how this quarter is going to go.
Shaler boots it off pretty deep. It's going to be caught right at the 10-yard line and started the return. He's going to get it out. Fumble! Ball! Waiting for the call. Waiting for a call, an official call. And that's going to be...
Shaler's looking like they want to Newcastle the same.
I need a call here. The ball came loose. Titan football. Titans have recumbled the fumble, it looks like. I think that's the call on the field. Somebody needs... I still haven't seen an official make a call.
I'm not sure either. All I saw was they were telling the Shaler players to get off the field after that celebration. So I can only assume at that point it's Shaler ball, Steve. But what a great turn of events there for Shaler.
What it looks like. And they'll receive, yeah. Titans ball at the Newcastle.
Wow, Steve.
Unfortunate break for Newcastle. I think it was just a big strip tackle there. Number 20 out of Newcastle, that was Braylon Sibley on the return. He just was not able to hold on to that ball, and he was stripped, and the Titans will take back over at the 30-yard line, it looks like. I formations. Smetanka under center. They give it to Augie Tortorella, and he's able to pick up 2 yards. Okay, I'm sorry. That was Tyler Johnson in the fullback position from Shaler, and he was able to pick up 2 yards. That was a substitution from the last drive.
Yeah, Tortorella actually comes in now.
Okay.
Given a break after that defensive kickoff. But again, Steve, this is a great position here for the Titans right now. You get the ball back immediately off the kickoff, and you still have 7:50 to work with.
The Titans are really just trying to run the clock off here. He rolls out, looking downfield, thrown, man wide open. And Titans make the reception. That's going to be Smetanka hooked that pass downfield with, who is that from the Titans? You can never get a good view of the numbers from this angle, folks.
I don't want to assume here, but I think it was 85.
85, that's going to be Brandon London with the reception downfield, putting the Titans back into the red zone. And it's 1st and goal
and Steve,
at the Hurricanes 5.
I love doing this part is when we're inside about the score. I love doing this. If you're Jim Ryan, what are you calling here?
I would go to the power eye set, which they're doing. Roma Tortorella comes back into play. And they're going to run it right up the gut. As they do, fullback dive. And
does he get pushed in?
he gets pushed in for the Titan touchdown. It's a very great move that the Titans have had in their playbook for a bunch of years here, as the Titans put another 6 up on the board with only wasting no time there.
About a minute.
And Titans will score again, putting another 6 up. Score now, Titans 30, Hurricanes 13. But we will see what the score will be after the extra point attempt here.
And the score on that play was Augie Tortorella.
Kick is
no
good. Kick pushed out a little bit to the right, and the Titans unsuccessful. And the Titans will lead the Hurricanes 30-13. 7:04 remaining in the third quarter of play. That was just an unfortunate break there for the Hurricanes. A turnover of,
on the kickoff.
Yeah, it was a change of possession there. They just were stripped of the ball. Not a bad performance there, but just an unfortunate break. The Titans had it happen to them very early on.
Yeah, the tides have completely shifted right now, Stephen. I mean, Shaler, I think, has scored 3 times in a row, I believe, uncontested right now. So if Newcastle wants to make something happen here and get themselves back in this game, get momentum, it has to be on this drive, because right now, Shaler has it.
Andre Jackson and Nate McKnight back to return. And
that was almost a beautiful kick, Steve.
Yeah, and it rolls back into the end zone, therefore making it an automatic touchback, and that will be brought out to the 25-yard line.
This is the 25. I forgot about that, Steve. They did change that, I think, 2 years ago.
Across all football platforms,
yeah.
It now moves to the 25-yard line.
And, Steve, I will say one thing that I've noticed, especially, defensively for either team, is that they've really, I believe, locked it down and tried to stop the run game, which I think has helped Shaler open up their receiving game a lot. I think both teams have done that, but it's helped Shaler more than it has Newcastle. I mean, Newcastle's not really pass heavy.
I think you're going to see a lot of 5-set and quad set here out of Newcastle as they go to the power set. Strong side, right side, double tight end set. Try to draw Shaler offside. It's a sweep to the outside. What a block. He's still up and running, getting some open running room. Pushed all the way to the outside, brought down big time on the Shaler sideline there.
That was number 36, Kayvon Gardner there, Steve, staying on his feet.
Great run, great athleticism. Great athleticism by staying on his feet, cutting back all the way across the field to try to get a positive yardage and definitely picking up the first down. Fortunately, I think we do have a slight injury on the field. An offensive lineman was down. He's walking it off.
It's going to be Alex Fox. He's the, I would presume, the main O-lineman here. 6'4", 318, and, it looked like something maybe in his knee. He does have a brace on, so hopefully it's nothing serious like that. We don't want to see any torn MCLs or ACLs here.
He doesn't seem like he's very sluggish. He was up to get and move around. I think he's all right. He's going to stay in for this set of downs. And now we see Chris Hood move under center. And it's a sweep to the outside. They cut it back to the inside. Brought down. Big hit from number 86. The Titans. Let me get a name on that.
Good Lord.
That is going to be James Sanders with the hit there.
That was a big one.
That was a great hit. Great gang tackle there. Another Titan was in on the play there. I'm unsure of the number. That's going to be a second down. Bring up second down and 5. Chris Hood still remaining under center on this set of downs. 2 wide receivers out wide, 2 double tight end set. A pitch to the outside. He's tripped up, but he stays on his feet. Gets the outside and then
still on his feet
at the 40.
Flag thrown though.
Hit out of bounds. Flag back at the 40.
I assume it might be a holding.
Yes, flag down around the line of scrimmage area. Head referee coming out. It looks like having a discussion.
Yeah, I think we're going to send it back for holding.
Okay. And head referee, the head official is going to make the call here as he has a small discussion. Holding, and on the offense.
And Steve, what you don't want to see right now from Shaler is, especially on this run game, like I said earlier, it's pretty troublesome getting in the late game on a very speedy, quick offensive team like this on Newcastle side. I mean, every player that touches the ball at this point has been really speedy. You know, Chris Wood being also one of those players, you know, he can even take it himself. So if Shaler really doesn't lock down right now, we could see Newcastle start to gain momentum really quickly here.
Yeah. And immediately whistled down.
Timeout?
No, I'm not sure that.
The sticks are wrong, Steve. Nope. I'm actually not sure. Let's see.
The sticks actually might be wrong.
Yeah, it looks like something's up here.
Holding is a 10-yard penalty. The sticks are definitely wrong because it was 2nd down and 5.
Yeah, so it should be 2nd and 15.
It should be 2nd and 15. They definitely have an issue with the sticks, it looks like, or something with ball.
I'm not sure here, Steve.
No, there is a problem. The first down marker's in the wrong spot.
Maybe.
It is. That flag was at the 47, which was the former.
Well, we're going to see how this one goes then, Steve.
And Chris Hood takes it himself. Gang tackled by the entire defensive line, but not after a gain of about 3 yards. I think the sticks are still wrong.
No, I believe they're right. I think it's the fact.
I think 10-yard penalty.
I think that's wrong. I think it was only a 5.
But then, okay.
There was only a 5, and I think one of the refs thought, hey, isn't that 10? No, it's only 5.
Okay. Moving forward, it is 3rd down and 3 for the Hurricanes. 3rd down and 4, I apologize. Chris Hood under center, double tight end set, single backfield man, throws it to the toss. Fumbled! I don't know who comes up with it.
No, Newcastle falls on it, but again, who got in there? That's number 4, Austin Timko, getting through the O-line and getting in there. A couple other Titans in there too. But I mean, again, Austin Timko's creating noise, and right now Newcastle doesn't know how to handle it.
I think Austin Timko's been in the backfield to create about 3 to 4 plays tonight. It's a great mention. Also alongside with
Tristan Holland?
Tristan Holland.
Yeah.
Tristan Holland, who was in on a handful of plays himself. It's going to be a 4th and 7 now because of the tackle for loss. They're looking downfield. Oh, the Titans are all over it, scrambling to make a play.
They got him.
They got him. It's a gang tackle. The Titans pull down Chris Hood as he was looking deep downfield, and he was unable to get that ball off. I have no clue who was in the backfield on that, but it looked like Bobby Boucher from Waterboy jumping up to block the pass, not letting that get off, and that was some great defense there by the Titans.
Take over. Now this is going to be really, I think we're going to see maybe something different here, Steve. We've seen a lot of passing. Well, I wouldn't say that, but we might see, they might stick to one side of the offense here. Especially, I think they have 3 receivers.
I think it's very wise here to just run the ball. Use the clock to your advantage. You're up a 2-score game here. And that's what they're going to do is they give it to Josh Miller. He gets the outside. He's going to pick up. Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
I think he fumbled it.
Oh, he did. Newcastle ball.
And Newcastle falls on it.
Okay.
Someone's injured, I think.
Yeah, they're calling another trainer out. I'm not sure who's down on this one.
Not what you want to see, Steve.
That injured player on this is going to be Marcus Evans out of Newcastle. He seems to be in some pain. And as the trainers take a look at him, we are going to go to a quick break with Shaler Titans. Shaler Titans up 30. Newcastle Hurricanes 13. 3:52 remaining here in the 3rd. Applause as an injured Marcus Evans. And the round of applause from all sets of fans here as the injured Marcus Evans of Newcastle was assisted off the field with what looks like a lower body injury as he's assisted off by the trainers. We wish him well and hope it is not a major lower body injury as we return to play. Chris Hood under center. He's going to roll out in the flat. He's getting chased down by some Titans. Looks downfield. Pass complete. and fumbled for a slight minute. Ball's fought. Newcastle recovered it immediately. Great athleticism to outrun the tackle there by Chris Hood and get a completed pass, and therefore move the sticks for a first down.
But Steve, guess who was chasing down Chris Hood? And I can tell you it was one of the two Titans defensively we've been talking about. I want you to guess.
I didn't see the number on him, but I'm definitely going to say that's Austin Timko in the backfield.
The other one, Tristan Holland getting back again behind Chris Hood and making him run. And again, Chris Hood very athletic and able to make the play. But again, those two causing a lot of confusion and problems for this Newcastle O-line right now.
And it's going to be handed off. Titans are got him on the edge. They contain the edge. However, he cuts it back to the inside. He's got open field to work with. He's at the 50, the 40. Flag down at the 30, 20. Brought down. We have a flag downfield thrown at the Titans 34-yard line. An official made the call. It was the linesman on the outside of the field closest to the Shaler line. Head official talking to the referees now.
I think it's on Newcastle. They look pretty upset about what they're looking at here.
Not sure. Head official with the call facing Shaler. It's going to be against the Newcastle Hurricanes.
But again, Kayvon Gardner, the freshman.
This is going to come back from the spot of the foul.
Oof. Actually,
I don't know if that was illegal. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It might have been a hold.
Could have been a hold by the outside receiver there on the last play. Unsure of it. We didn't have a good vantage on the head official's call.
Nope.
All we know is it came back from the spot of the foul at the 34-yard line. Ball is placed at the 44-yard line of the Titans. So Newcastle into Titan territory. Chris Hood goes in the single back set. Man in motion. False start, but they didn't call it. Looking downfield. Intercepted by the Titans at the 40. Back across midfield. Titans still have it up in the Titans with the pick. That's number 13, Dylan Schlegel, as he brings it back into Titan in the Newcastle territory. And we have another player down on the field. Just another Newcastle player that seems to be injured as we go to...
Let's see, it's on the far side, not able to get a number, but again, another injury to the Newcastle Hurricanes. Now we're going to see they're already pretty heavily injured on their side. I mean, they've been losing players a lot in these last quarters here, and it's not something you want to see, especially, again, we're in week 0 here. This is just to see where you stand.
Right, this game is...
You still got 8 games left.
It's a, in the best words described, it is a real game scrimmage. The game does not affect you in any way, win, loss, tie, draw. This is just to be played as to see where both teams stand going into week 1 next week. You don't want to see anybody get hurt no matter what part of the season. But definitely not here in a week 0 game. We wish all the players who have been injured within this game to make a speedy recovery.
Well, you don't want to see, sorry to cut you off.
So they can complete their season. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I don't want to see a cart come out here. It's the one thing you probably don't want to see. You want to be able to see them get off on their own will here. Anything cart considered is either something torn or something broke or fractured, and that's not something you want to see. But I think, thankfully, he's going to be able to get off on his own, willpower.
He's helped up by the training staff. He's still bent over, still making a slow journey off this field. And, oh, wow.
Oh, that's Chris Wood.
That's going to be number 4, Chris Hood, who unfortunately, he is experiencing a lower body injury, and I'm not sure at this point who Newcastle has available to bring back as the 3rd-string quarterback, and we wish him a speedy recovery here. I hope nothing is seriously wrong as he is being taken off by extreme help from the trainers. And this will be 1st down and 10. Shaler's ball at the Newcastle 47.
Newcastle's 47.
Giving up to Tortorella right up the middle. He's going to get a couple yards. He's brought down, but it's not after a gain of about 8.
But yeah, Steve, I mean, especially, not to take away from the unfortunate injury, but that pick from Schlegel, I mean, that was a great read. He kind of fell back a little bit, didn't read the comeback route, and his height especially helped him to reach over the helmet of the receiver, and he just kind of picked it up and almost mossed him, reverse moss as a cornerback, and just took it from him and got the pick.
And they give it up to Luke Signetti. Luke Signetti's bouncing all over the field to get a hold. He's at the 40. Flag down in the back. Flag down around the 30-yard line. Luke Signetti bouncing all over the field to get out to about the 20. It's probably going to be a holding call or something of that nature as the head officials.
I think they're walking back, Steve.
I don't know if it's legal contact by the offense or pass interference. They gave a pass interference sign, but there was no pass on the play. I'm not certain of what that call is. I'm being honest because it was not a passing play.
No, but there should be no sense for pass interference. So it could have been off the block interference. I'm not sure.
We'll call it at that. All I know is the Titans come back to reset it at 2nd and 2. Titans take the snap. Hand it off to Signetti again. Signetti takes the outside. He's got a stiff arm. He's running to the outside sideline. Thrown out of bounds.
They're going to get him with the flag.
And they're going to get unnecessary roughness. 15 yards a late flag comes in after the play. Flags are flying on the sidelines. We don't have a good vantage of what's going on. I believe this is definitely going to fall under defensive personal foul, unnecessary roughness. However, let's see what the call really is. I believe this is definitely going to affect. This could result in a 30-yard penalty if it's a live ball penalty and a dead ball penalty. But
that's very true here, Steve.
We haven't seen that in a couple of years.
I mean, what happened here was I believe the defender on Newcastle was taking Signetti out of bounds and just kind of threw him after he was at least 3 yards. Yeah, he was way out of bounds. Kind of just threw him to the ground. Signetti a little bit shaken up, and then must have said something afterwards to Signetti, or someone else said something to the Newcastle player, because another flag got thrown about 8 seconds later. So I guess you're right, there may be an off and a dead, but they could be on either side and make it offset.
And let's see what the actual call is the officials walking all the way down.
So personal foul on Newcastle here, Steve, and then I think one on Shaler. So yeah, someone must have said something.
Okay, so we have a personal foul, unnecessary roughness called on Newcastle, and then an unsportsmanlike conduct personal foul penalty also called upon Shaler, and these penalties are offsetting. Repeat 2nd down and 2. No one hurt nor penalized because they are offsetting penalties. And we have a stoppage of time. The officials are going to have a conversation about this. All officials, I believe there was a question raised, a concern on the Newcastle sideline, and they want clarification as to what's going on. Everybody wants to be 100% certain on their call here.
I'm not certain myself here, Steve.
I think they're asking question, is it a loss of down?
They're going to call it.
There it is. That was a great call by the Newcastle coach there to clarify that, to make sure that
still
it resulted in a loss of down. They hand it off to Josh Miller.
He's going to get first.
He gets the first. That was a great coaching standpoint there by Newcastle to ask for the clarification and say, wait a moment, that should result in loss of down.
Yes.
No yardage penalty either way, but result in loss of down. And that's what the conversation was with the referees.
Yes.
Okay, 1st and 10 at the Newcastle 29-yard line, just under a minute remaining in the 3rd. Josh Miller's tied up. He tried to get it outside. He got a shoelace tackle taken down right across the line of scrimmage and or right at the line of scrimmage. We've seen a lot of action out of Keegan Smetanka tonight, and he's really stepping up. Keegan being a sophomore this year, that's a huge role. It's a 2-year age difference and developmental difference between you against seniors. So that is an awesome thing of him stepping up and taking the responsibility. Titans have to get one more playoff before the quarter expires. And they look downfield. He's got to get rid of it. He does. Thrown out of bounds. No intentional grounding there, as he was outside the box. And 4.6 seconds will remain in the third.
And Steve, right now it's kind of a lull between both sides. I mean, Shaler, I believe Shaler's taking their time a lot more. Not a real need for urgency. You're up three scores. So, I mean, you know, right now if you're Shaler, you're taking it easy. Honestly, if you're Shaler, would you agree, you know, maybe it's time to, you know, run your own stuff?
Yeah, no, I agree with you with Shaler taking their time. They look downfield, they throw it in the flat. They got a man open. They got a lot of room to make up for. Can they get to the stick? He reaches out and extends it. They really needed the first down as time expires from the third.
Let's see what they mark it.
It all depends on the spot here. That was a great extension there by the receiver in the flat. Did you get a number on that, on who that receiver was in the flat? I believe that was Luke Cincinnati.
Yes. And I think they are going to move him.
I think they're going to move him as well, and the sticks are going to change. However, we had the flop sides here as we go into the dramatic fourth quarter. Titans lead the Newcastle Hurricanes with a score of 30-13. Woo, fuck yeah. Coming back into the fourth quarter, Titans take the snap, look downfield, blitz right away, he slips it. And he's able to get some yards. Hold on to the football. What an athletic play there by the Titans quarterback.
Keegan Schmatenka again showing his, I'm telling you, man, he reminds me of Johnny Manziel. I know that may be a pretty bad comparison in some retrospects, but I mean, the way he's able to read the field when he's being scrambled, it's something that we haven't really seen before in a quarterback from the Shaler Titans. I mean, in past years, most of the time they throw it away, but Schmatenka stays calm, looks for his guys. He doesn't have anything, and he finds a pocket, and he runs through it. I mean, he's doing so well, and as a young guy, it's so impressive to see.
Yeah, the great athleticism out of Schmatenka, and he's going to take it in the single back set, and they're going to hand it off to Miller. Miller's able to get it out to the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of about 1 or 2. They're going to get him a gain of 1, third down and 6 remaining.
And Steve, with the Titans up 3 scores, you know, it's real tough here with Newcastle getting a lot of injuries. I mean, 3 injuries in the last quarter has been real tough for them. You know, I don't know how Newcastle's going to be able to handle it. I mean, they're already down in numbers. Fatigue probably starting to set in. If Newcastle wants any chance to get back into this, they got to stop Shaler from scoring here. It's going to be blown out of the water.
Titans go to the I formation. Play action pass rolled out. Looking downfield, they got, and pushing his way to the end zone. Flag. That is going to be for a face mask called on the defense, but it still results in a Titan touchdown. Great play action pass caught by Augie Tatoria. And that penalty, I believe, will be enforced
on the kickoff.
Yes. That was, you could definitely see the neck snap backwards. Very scary injury there, but it looks to be everybody's okay. And the Titans will get another touchdown there. I didn't think they were going to throw the ball anymore. I thought the Titans really controlled the clock. I thought this was definitely just going to remain a running game and just control the clock. However, the Titans do put another 6 on the board.
Let's see. I don't think they're kicking here. I don't really see a kicker.
There was no sign for there's no sign of a touchdown. No, it's just they didn't touch.
Huh?
They just haven't.
I'm confused.
Very confused.
Are they not calling touchdown? Oh no, I think they will. Okay, Steve, I'm confused. This is where it gets.
They want to. They're gonna have to result in something here.
You're telling me this isn't a touchdown, and he stepped out of bounds at the 2?
I didn't see anybody step out of bounds.
I didn't think he did either, but I guess they must have seen him maybe step his right foot out of bounds.
Well,
Jim Ryan not too happy about that.
I would not be either, because they lose the penalty. The 15-yard penalty does not
get enforced.
It's half the distance to the goal, so the ball should almost be on the goal line.
Oh wait, no, we're stupid. Steve, we're stupid.
Okay.
They called it.
And the kick is up.
Way good.
Kick is good. Okay, sorry for the confusion.
Man, that was rough.
So the score just did not put the numbers up yet. Titans lead 37-13, 10-18 to play here in the fourth quarter. We apologize for that.
Confusion.
We were given the confusion there. The score was just not put in. We did not know what the call was on the field. So the 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
And Steve, I don't know how to say it. I haven't really seen it from a Shaler team in a long time. But I mean, the way that these, by the way, may I reiterate, these are very young Titans. Like, a lot of these guys are sophomores, including freshmen. And I mean, there's still been the juniors and seniors, but I mean, a lot of the key players are sophomore juniors right now. And it's so impressive to see they put 4 on unanswered against the Newcastle, who were honestly, in my opinion, Steve, just going at them for the first quarter.
You know, the Newcastle Hurricanes are not a team to be unnoticed within their Whitfield Conference. They are a very strong team. It was just they've had a couple bad breaks. Titans kick it off. Squibbed. They got to lay on it soon. And a little bit of aggressive contact there, a little bit after the whistle, but no flags thrown. Castle Hurricanes fall on it about the 35-yard line. I see where they'll mark, and they fall on it right at the, I'm gonna say 36, 37-yard line. They're gonna spot it. Okay, Shaler defense comes out.
I believe the quarterback now in, I'm not sure.
We do see the return of Chris Hood.
Okay, he's back in. That's good to see him back in.
It is amazing to see that he's able to come off, and it was just a small maybe twist or sprain, and he's able to walk it off. Trip set, looks out to the right side, thrown into the flat, received, and brought down by a good gang of Titans, but they do pick up the first down.
And Steve, I think what we're going to see right now is, I don't think we're going to see a lot of running here from Chris Hood. I mean, if his injury, even if it isn't that serious, you don't really want to re-aggravate it, of course. So we may not be seeing a lot of run game from him. So maybe expect a lot more passing and a lot more running game from the running back.
Okay, quad receiver set, single man in the backfield. And they throw it right inside of the tight end. Got a lot of running room underneath. Brought out of bounds, but not after a gain of around 25, 30 yards. You know, that's great. Great discipline by, whether it was intentional or not, great discipline by Newcastle there. They let the trips take all of the zone and man coverage down the field. They let the play develop. They let the tight end get the open space he needed. They dump it to the tight end. He had 30 free yards of running room, and he picked up every single yard of it. Amazing discipline there, whether it was intentional or not. Great play by Newcastle. They go back to a quad set. Chris Hood, and it's going to be a jet sweep to the outside. They try to contain the outside. Looks like a flag's thrown at the line of scrimmage. Brought out of bounds at the Shaler 24, 25-yard line. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage. Holding against Newcastle. It's going to be from the spot of the foul at the line of scrimmage. 10-yard penalty. Repeat. First down.
And Steve, right now, I mean, I would say Shaler's kind of getting content, but it seems they're, losing the spark a little bit.
No,
and that's
I believe what we want to see is a rotation of players.
Yes.
You do not want to see any week 0 injuries. You don't want to see injuries ever. But before an actual, game where it matters, you don't want to see injuries from a coaching standpoint. So I think they have some room to give up. They have some, wiggle room within this game to give up and rotate their players through. I think that's what we're going to start seeing here just in a couple of seconds as the Titans are up 3 scores here, 37-13, 9-10 remaining here in the final fourth quarter. And I believe this was I'm sorry to cut you off, but I believe this was a great played game by both teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you have great takeaways on both. Both teams turned the ball over twice.
Yeah.
with a couple bobbled that they fell on. Both teams played good defensively. Both teams played good offensively as well, as you see the Hurricanes driving down the field. Deep ball, man's down there. Can he hit him? Hit him in the hands. Not able to haul it in. Great throw downfield by Chris Hood.
I believe that was Andre Jackson not able to pull that in.
Andre Jackson was the intended receiver on the play. You know, hit him right in the numbers. I think his footing got him messed up. He was trying to get a foot planted, and it just hit him right in the wrong spot, hit him in the arm. It didn't hit him flush in the chest, and he wasn't able to hone it in. It was a great show of power there by number 4, Chris Hood, and a great show of accuracy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the first deep ball I would say we've seen all game from him, and it was spot on.
Third and 17. Chris Hood takes a snap, looking downfield. He's pressured a little bit. Jump throws across the middle, one-handed grab attempted. It was thrown on the outside shoulder, not able to be pulled in. Intended receiver on the play is going to be Austin Kelly, and Austin was just not able to hone that ball in. And they have to go for it here at the Shaler 40-yard line. 4th and 17 to go.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be rough either way. I think we're going to see a timeout.
They want to see a tight timeout. They want to go over their play here. You're looking at a deep ball. I think Shaler knows it. They're going to back everybody off the ball at least 10 yards. You're going to see a safety probably at their 20 or back. He's going to be playing about 20 yards off the ball here, most definitely.
Yeah, and Steve, I think right now, I think frustration and just kind of, I wouldn't say defeat, but almost, you know, the feeling of like, oh crap, time's running out.
Right. It's a 4-score ball game.
Yeah. It's not what you want to see. But week 0, not terrible.
It's a 3-score with a bunch of conversions. So they need to make something happen to even have, you know, a chance. But I still think the takeaways here, win, lose, tie, or draw, both teams come out with knowledge and they can grow from what they've learned here.
Exactly, that's the whole point.
I think that's the best part about this game. I believe we can really look at this film from this game and how both teams played, and there's takeaways from both teams. And I think that's amazing to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely something for each team to grow. You know, week 0, that's the whole point. I mean, I'll say it over and over again. Week 0, it's not something that you say, hey, man, we're going to win Whitfields because of this week. You should see it as, okay, what do we need to learn and what do we need to grow off of?
Absolutely. Okay, you're going to see a 5-wide receiver set. Titans in a 2-man zone coverage. Chris Hood looking deep downfield. He's getting pressured. He's got to throw it away. Throws it. It's complete. And I thought it was stripped for a second. I think he converts there. He does. They moved the sticks. They took advantage of the cover 2-man zone. They threw it right in the middle of the zone coverage there. And the Newcastle Hurricanes look like they're in really good scoring position here as they enter the red zone again. Chris Hood, 5 receiver set, empty backfield. Looking downfield end zone. Thrown across the middle of that cover 2 again by the Titans. He's stopped just short at the 5-yard line, maybe inside of it, and it's 1st and goal for the Hurricanes.
Second.
One Titan is slow to get up as he is down, not sure. It's going to be an injury timeout for the Shaler Titans. And I believe he's up and walking off slowly. That is going to be
number 43, I believe, on the Titans there, Steve.
43, he's just slow to get up.
Oh, there's another one down actually on the field.
Okay, so we have one injured on the field, unsure of a number. We had number 43 of the Titans, who is going to be Tyler Johnson. Was slow to walk off. He looked like he might have had some ankle injury or lower body
injury. Yeah, he's on the sideline right now getting checked up, and I'm not sure who's down on the field. He's actually able to get up and
he looks like he's walking under his own power. That Titan player, not able to get a number off that. I believe it's Dylan Schlegel, 13. I don't want to say that preemptively. He's 71. Okay, glad to see both players able to get off the field under their own power. However, it is still 2nd and goal. Ball at the Shaler 5-yard line. Looks like the Hurricanes are able to get into a good scoring position here with 8:10 remaining here in the 4th.
Yeah, Steven, I think we're just seeing a lot of injuries. It was really hot earlier, about 2 hours ago. We're just seeing a lot of leg cramps, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. With the heat that they were dealing with early on in the game, I agree with you. Looking downfield, scrambling. Chris Hood wants to take it for himself. He swallowed up. Ball's out.
But I think they recover it in the end zone.
And I think it's going to be a recovery. Waiting for a call. Touchdown is made.
Not sure who fell on it.
But somebody fell on it inside the end zone. Fumbled in the end zone. Touchdown Newcastle Hurricanes. Just under 8 minutes remaining.
Never gets old, does it, Steve?
No, it doesn't. It's a great touch playing out here, is seeing the fireworks celebration after all scored touchdowns. Newcastle punching one in. Looks like they're a man short on their extra point team as Austin Kelly runs in to take to fill the gap. Extra point attempt is going to be kicked up and good. Hurricanes score with just under 8 minutes remaining in the 4th, making this a 2-score ball game. As now the Shaler area Titans lead 37 to the Hurricanes 20 with 7:59 remaining here in the 4th. Titans due to receive. John, as we spoke, earlier, and just as we've been speaking on game, I believe this is a great thing that the WPIAL has started to incorporate. I think this started to be incorporated up until at least 5 years now of the Week 0 being built into the schedule. It's a non-conference, non-sectional game. They find teams from all around the area to play each other, and it just it works out great. I mean, it really does. It gets a lot of people able to get playing time. Sometimes it's people who the coaches are a little still iffy about because they haven't felt them out the whole way. They're able to cycle into a real game scenario. The scrimmages are great, but it's not played under the format of a real football game. That's the thing. Week 0 is a great thing because you're able to play it under normal conditions, per se.
Yeah, I think this is a great opportunity, especially for a lot of young guys, to get good playing time, especially in a real game situation. Like you said, for those who haven't played football, you normally don't play any real game situations. I mean, at least before regular season, of course, but this is a great way to play an opponent you're not going to normally ever play in your section or even out of section and conference even. So, I mean, this is a great way to find out where you are as a player and as a team and, get actually some good playing time in.
Right. And Newcastle prepares to kick this one off. It's going to be Caden Orga deep for the Titans as alongside... it's going to be Joseph DiSabato.
Look how they're lining up here.
It looks like they're trying to prepare for a possible onside kick.
This is going to have to be really clean here for Shaler because anything can happen.
Right. It's going to be come off. They do a squib. Oh, it's touched. They're going to fall on it. They do. Shaler huddles around. Sometimes it's better just to let that fly over you, they say, But he was able to get down on it, he tipped it up, and he was able to fall on it. Titans will recover the ball with 7:56 to play at their own 36-yard line. I thought it was a very interesting play here. I like to see Dom Rossi and his adversity and his ability to not only play quarterback and be the leader, but to be okay with being swapped out of the quarterback position as a senior and really make something happen. Titans run it to the outside, taken out of bounds. That was number 28.
26, Josh Miller, actually.
26 still?
Yes.
Oh, it was. Josh Miller with the carry there. He gains a few yards. It's going to be 2nd down and depends on the spot.
They broke the stick. Josh Miller broke the stick. Josh Miller, you're going to be expecting a paycheck of about $200 in your mailbox here.
That's a first.
Excuse me, you're going to be expecting a bill here.
A bill.
$200 for breaking the flag and the stick.
they didn't drop the stick in time, and Josh Miller broke it in half.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it is broken in half. Steve, that thing collapsed. Oh my goodness.
Now the officials are going to have to figure something out here.
They're setting up a tent right now. Goodness me, Steve.
Trying to pop the pins back into place to at least temporarily get this back into working condition. And this goes under an official timeout.
And Steve, you know what fixes these? Starts with a flex and ends with the tape.
Right, flex tape. You know, that's a great product out there. That would do a great fix as they try to engineer and come up with something to fix the sticks. And they're calling for play to resume.
Yeah, they're just going to say screw it. Yep.
2nd and 2 off the carry from Miller.
And Steve, what you don't want to see here in this next 7 minutes and 46 seconds is it's been chippy the last quarter and a half. You don't want to see anything that's going to escalate into anything, rough.
No, by no means. You're absolutely correct there. Titans and the pistol. Hand it off to the sweep. It's going to be...
Flag thrown after you find that name. Well, flag thrown. I believe it was Caden Orger with the carry there, number 9.
That was Caden Orger with the carry. It was a gain of a pickup of...
It's going to be a flag, actually, on the Shaler.
And that looks like it's at the scrimmage. I think they're going to call that a holding penalty against Shaler. Should be a repeat of downs. I'm starting to see that holding is now a 5-yard penalty on some instances.
Yes.
And now, see, this one was they brought him back 10. But in certain, I don't understand where it is during the play, but I seen tonight they had a holding call and it was only 5-yard penalty.
I think if it's holding on the scrimmage, on the line of scrimmage, it's 10. Holding by like a receiver, a position player, downfield, you get 5. I believe, because that's what happened earlier when we thought it was 10, but then it turned out to be 5.
Okay. Timeout. Officials taken. Timeout taken by the Shaler Titans. Titans have 1 timeout remaining. They wanted to talk some things over here. 2nd down and 12. Titans lead 37-20, 7:13 remaining here in the 4th.
And Steve, what I'll say that I've seen this entire game is adversity, honestly, on both sides of the field.
Yeah.
I think for Shaler, of course, having that rough first quarter after that first drive and into the second quarter, and then coming back and putting 2 on, and then coming to the third quarter and just going insane and putting on, I believe, 3 it was in the third. It just shows these Titans are coming different this year. I think that, when Jim Ryan said it best, it was a rebuild year. It was an identity year last year. This year, I think they pretty much have found their identity, I believe. I hope so. And they're using it to full force, full advantage, because right now they're full gears.
Play action, looking downfield. He's got to escape. He makes it happen. Looking down, he's got a man open. And, wait a minute.
I believe that's going to be... Wow, I'm surprised that's not called complete.
I thought he had 2 or 3 steps in there.
No, I guess he didn't. It looked like he might have had, I guess maybe not 2 or 3 controlled. Must have had maybe a bobble in there that the referee saw on that near sideline. I mean, he was right there looking at it. But that's going to cause a 3rd and 12, Steve, and not really what you want to be in. I mean, there's still a lot of time on the clock. This game is far from over, especially in the infamous 4th quarter when anything can happen.
You're absolutely right there, John. So the incompletion leads to a 3rd and 12. That he definitely had it, but I guess they ruled he didn't have it completely secured before the ball came out.
He must have switched it to an offhand. That's what I assume.
Single back set, play action pass, looking downfield. He's got the same receiver, but it's overthrown and thrown across the high side of the body. The intended receiver, number 85 for the Titans. That's going to be Brandon London. And incomplete, bringing up a 4th and 12, and the punt team will have to come for Shaler.
And what I was going to say is that for the Shaler Titans team, you definitely do not want to make any mistakes.
No, by no means, and I think they're going to start running the ball when they regain possession. No matter, even if they give up a touchdown on the next drive, they still control the clock. They're still up in the game, so Titans get ready to punt. Newcastle ready to receive. Punts up high.
Big boot there, Steve.
Spiraling kick, fair catch called. And
good punt.
It really was. Down at the 28-yard line or 29-yard line of Newcastle. Great punt there by the Titans, getting them at least back into their own territory. They still have a lot of room to their backs. They have a lot of breathing room.
Yeah, and Steve, I think one thing that we're going to see differently right now is that there's a very good possibility that we're going to see a lot more running from Newcastle here, because especially from number 36, we saw earlier, excuse me, I had to find his number, Kayvon Gardner, he had that one play coming the other way. He got off a couple of defenders, remember, went down that far sideline and got about a gain of 35, so we might see a lot more running, but I could actually be wrong as they go 5 set.
5 set, Chris Hood back, single back. He looks downfield, he's going to take it himself up the middle, but he's brought down after a gain of about 5 or 6 yards, and they took him down by the ankle. He's not slow to get up, but he does look like he's in a little bit of discomfort as he walks and tries to get the next play call.
And we might see a faster offense here from Newcastle, Steve.
Absolutely, 2nd and 5, and it's a 2-score game. I'm sorry, it's technically a 3-score game. Newcastle set. 5 receiver set, looking downfield. He's got a man in the flat, and he's hit his man. Intended receivers, whoa, he's still up. And number 25, that's going to be Austin Kelly out of Newcastle, intended receiver. Luke Signetti is off the field. He looks like he had a little bit of stiffness in his lower body. Five receiver set again for Newcastle on the 1st down and 10. Chris Hood back to throw. A little bit of pressure in the backfield. He's not swallowed up. Pass is complete to Owen Claveri.
You're going to butcher this one, I feel, Steve.
Owen
Hold up, ladies and gentlemen. He'll get it.
Chiavarino.
There we go.
Chiavarino.
I let that pass. That was a pretty hard one. But Steve, all jokes aside, Newcastle right now using the time management really well.
Yeah.
I think they're going to have to force Shaler to actually, lock in here on defense and not let them score, of course.
He's pump fakes. He's running out of options. He's getting balls thrown to Owen Chiavarino again.
He was wide open on the right side there, Steve. I was surprised that Hood actually managed to find him on that right side off of that scramble.
Yeah, number 70 of Shaler. He was in on the last 2 plays and caused some disruption in the backfield. Let me get a name for you folks. 73, Ron Molnar on the disruption in the backfield. Last 2 plays he's been in. Rush off the edge. Chris Hood takes it himself. He's hit a couple times, stays up. Finally gang tackled by the Titans, but he picked up a lot of yards, at least 15 gain, before he was brought down.
And the thing, Steve, here is that the Canes still have 2 timeouts.
Absolutely, but they're still fighting time under 4:45 remaining here in the 4th clock running.
And Shaler really needs to lock in. Again, you're still up 3 scores technically, but you don't want to let any momentum get, and you still want to end on a strong win. You don't want to end it within, you were up 20 at one point. You don't want to have it come in between 5, I would say.
Absolutely. Throw downfield's complete over midfield. And stumbling, he's still on his feet. Good gain there. Tayshawn Wilkins with the reception and good gain. It moves the Hurricanes into the 1st and goal. Ball on the 6 or 5 yard line. And they have marched over 50 yards in about 5 plays. And they are in scoring position once again. 5 receiver set. Eyes look across the field. He scrambled out of the pocket, but he is sacked by
55 there, Steve.
Number 55, Logan Douglas, in on the sack tonight.
And we might see a timeout from Newcastle, and I think we are going to see it.
With 3:42, they chopped off a minute of time between the last two plays with that running clock. And that was a loss of, I would say, 6 yards.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, Steve, too. And I think right now I wouldn't be surprised with a 2nd and 7 on the 12-yard line. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Chris Hood QB take here.
Absolutely. You know, he's been very well as he was scrambled out of the pocket tonight. You know, he might be a little bit timid on his ankle. He seems firm. He seems like it was he's bounced back from it. However, with that being said, it's a week 0 game. Do you really want to stress out an injury because you already know the original intended starting receiver for the night is still out on another 2 weeks before he's scheduled to come back for regular play. So I think it's going to be more conservative. If he has to do it, he will. But he really just wants to get the ball out of his hands and get it downfield for the score.
Exactly, Steve. Couldn't have said anything better.
Okay, Chris Hood still single back set as 5 receivers spread out across the line. The snap, looking downfield for a man. He's scrambled out of the pocket. He takes it himself. Ball's thrown up in the air, tipped, caught. Wait a minute. I don't even know if he had a foot in bounds before he even came down and made possession.
And this may be a stupid prediction here, Steve, but I may be saying this could actually be offensive interference.
You know what? I didn't think he was in. I seen he came down with it, but I didn't see he had a foot in bounds.
This is either, I would be surprised if this is on Shaler. I'm not sure what it could have been on.
Pointed back.
So another mistake for Newcastle and a scoring opportunity, not what you want to see.
And they're backed up again from their 12 back to... Oh, he was a legal forward pass. He was threw the ball in front of the line of scrimmage.
Okay.
Ball is on the 17-yard line. 3rd and goal. Timeout has been taken. I'm sorry, no.
The penalty has been assessed.
Penalty has been assessed. Conversation is coming up at the sideline.
Trying to figure it out, who's on the field.
Clock starting again. Play clock, that is. 5 receiver set from Hood. Hood looks downfield. He's got a big pass at the end zone.
And they're looking for a flag, but I wouldn't say that's a flag worthy on Dom Rossi. I mean, Dom Rossi just stuck his arm out.
Dom Rossi met him. You know, it wasn't, they met each other and then backpedaled from there. I wouldn't say that he necessarily interfered with the progression of that receiver by any means. I would say it's more or less of an overthrow from Hood.
Yeah, I don't think, remember people, in a offensive or in a defensive pass interference, remember, the ball has to be catchable and attainable.
And also you have to interfere with the progress of that receiver.
Dom Rossi sticking his arm out technically is not interference, and I don't think that ball was catchable anyway. So very good call there by the refs.
4th and goal. Quick throw to the backside of the end zone. Overthrown again. Turnover on downs. Great attempts there. Just a couple unfortunate breaks. They weren't able to punch it in. Titans take over from their own 17-yard line. And it's also tough. You can take a look at the squad difference between Shaler's team and Newcastle's team. They almost have probably about 20 more guys on Shaler than they do to Newcastle. So they're able to rotate a few more players out as Newcastle has to play a couple guys both ways.
Yeah, and I think Shaler also has a lot of guys playing both ways here, Steve, but I think them having a lot more subs has helped them throughout this game as well.
Yeah. Titans take over. Single back set. They hand it off. Miller's going to take it to the outside as he's
still on his feet,
around.
Steve.
Still on his feet, gets him a little bit of open running room. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches to right about the 25-yard line.
And Steve, if I'm the Titans, I'm going to stick to the run game probably, especially with Josh Miller.
Absolutely. You control the clock here. There's no reason to throw, a ball downfield, anything like that. Run the ball, control the clock, and end the game.
I think even if you do want to pass, let's get past, I would say, maybe the 40-yard line on Newcastle's end.
Absolutely.
You want to be in a safe spot if you're going to throw a pass and possibly have something happen. But
I believe we'll only see that in a third down scenario.
Yeah, of course.
Both teams are down to one timeout. It's a 3-score ball game already. Single back set, trips receiver. And they're going to give it to Miller again. Miller's going to run it, but be taken down around the 30.
Should have gotten it, I believe, Steve.
He will move the sticks. Josh Miller with the run there. Back-to-back carries. He has a great night running the ball. I think he had a couple receptions as well in the flat early on in the game when oh Lord. The starting quarterback who was originally in the game for the Titans was
Dom Rossi?
Dom Rossi intended to Josh Miller a few times early in the first quarter.
Yes.
Before Keegan Smetanka has came in for the rest of the game. Smetanka, trip set. And they're going to give it outside. Luke Signetti's going to take this one. He's going to bounce it out to the outside. He's got a lot of running room. Cuts it back up. Makes it to the 50. Still on his feet all the way out to the 40-yard line of Newcastle.
And super impressive again. Such a strong running back core of Luke Sinetti, Josh Miller, Augie Tortorella. I mean, they're so strong and they have so much experience under the belt. Luke Sinetti, especially, I believe, being a junior this year, came up big. Remember in the Gateway game 2 years ago, he came up huge, I believe, with a touchdown and I believe about 80 yards running. I mean, I think this running back core is going to be so huge for Shaler in these upcoming games, and it's proved that tonight how these guys can just find the open holes and get the outside edge and just run.
Just about a minute remaining in the ball game. Titans give it off again for another run up the middle. It's going to be taken by Luke Sinetti again. Gain of about 15 yards. They bring it all the way out to the Newcastle. I'm not sure exactly what yard line they brought it out to. About the 37, 38-yard line of Newcastle. 50 seconds remaining. Looks like the Titans at least have to get off one more play before they can end this one.
They're just going to run this clock down, Steve. But again, what an impressive performance on both sides of the ball, to be honest, throughout the game. You know, it may not have turned out how Newcastle wanted it, but I mean, for Shaler, this is a big win in
Way
week 0.
to start off the season, coming off an 0-7 season. There's the first knee, the excitement of everybody. You know, you can see, but look at the respect about both teams here as clock winds down. Way to come back from an 0-7 losing season, turning it around as the Titans reclaim their road to victory as they win against the Newcastle Hurricanes with the score of 37-20. See us down on the turf for our post-game interview to wrap up the contest between the Shaler area Titans and the Newcastle Hurricanes. Hello and welcome down to the SATV post-game interview while we talk about the matchup between the Shaler area Titans and the Newcastle Hurricanes. John, I want to take your time real quick. Tell me what you've seen between both teams in the first and second quarter of this game.
Well, Steve, especially in that first quarter, I mean, Shaler came out hot in their first drive. I mean, I think they went about 60 yards. A big play from Josh Miller, I believe, came down about 40 yards, instant. But then they fumbled. Newcastle scored off of that in their first drive. And Newcastle kind of held possession and momentum until about halfway through the second quarter. And then they started making mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what killed them throughout that second quarter. Shaler put about 2 scores on towards the end, I believe, from Dylan Schlegel and I believe Caden Orga, both in that later half of the second quarter. And at that point, Shaler had momentum going into the second half. And even though they did kick off to Newcastle, I felt like it was just too much for Newcastle to handle. I mean, with a guy like Chris Hood, who hasn't had a lot of QB experience in the back set, it was a hard game for him, especially on the throwing aspect of things, and he wasn't able to get things done that way, so he had to resort to running, especially in a 5-set. That's hard for him. But, I mean, going into the half, I mean, I think it was Shaler's game to lose, and, I mean, what did you see in the third and fourth quarter?
You know, going right before halftime, Shaler punches one in for a touchdown. They had both offensive and defensive momentum going into halftime. Out of halftime, they kind of lost it because when the Hurricanes came back onto the field to receive the kickoff, they ran it down and punched it in for a touchdown. With that being said, a little bit of revival happened on the sidelines. They kicked it right back into gear.
Third and fourth quarter, they picked up right where they left off at the end of the second, and they pretty much held the Hurricanes to a minimal. You know, I really give a lot of credit to Chris Hood from the Newcastle Hurricanes stepping up, taking that leadership position, running that backfield, even sometimes running a 5-man receiver set and still making plays either by himself or downfield. So I think in this week 0 game that the conclusion is both teams walk away with knowledge and what they have to do with the season, even though Shaler walks away with the victory. Wouldn't you say so as well?
Yeah, Steve, I think for both sides, I mean, you saw guys out there for Shaler like Caden Orga, Keegan Shapatenko, who stepped in that later half of the first quarter, stepped in at the quarterback and did a huge role. Great job tonight. Threw for a couple of TDs, got a lot of passing yards, not a lot of incompletions and mistakes. And I think for Shaler, it's a relatively clean game come after the second quarter. I think they did everything they needed to do. They know how. I think they know their identity at this point. Newcastle might be a little bit more rough. They had a lot of injuries come that third and fourth quarter, which is going to be tough for them heading into their section, their conference. So for them, it's going to be a little bit tough. But I think both teams, again, like you said, walk away with that knowledge of, hey, this is where we are in our totem pole. Let's reach here now.
Absolutely, I agree with you. The sophomore Shapatenko stepping up after the substitution. He took the role of quarterback. He played phenomenal. There's a lot of honorable mentions from both teams, and I think they're great takeaways for knowledge as we move into week 1 next week. Do you have anything to wrap it up for us today, John?
Steve, I'm all out of ideas. I can't wait to get the week 1. I mean, I'm so excited I can't even speak right now, Steve.
I understand, John. Well, that kind of wraps up our coverage here at the Newcastle Shaler game. Join us next week as we go into week 1 with where Shaler takes on Mars. We'll see you next week.